Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are for the Sunday edition of World of Watches TV, and this is our last chance for you to get those packages out in time for Christmas delivery. Thank you for joining us. My name is Megan.
And I'm Wiley.
I missed you last night.
Well, thank you. I missed being here. Take that for whatever it's worth. Really did. And I know that Megan and all of you had an outstanding program last night, but we have some great surprises for you in the next 3 hours. This is the best 3 hours in watch television, and we welcome you to the program. If you're unfamiliar with us, we are Swiss Watch International, and this is World of Watches. We offer the very best prices in watches. You're going to find some high-end brands as well as some very pedestrian brands, and all of them are going to be easy to own. Are we still on all 6 payments?
Every single item.
Stress-free, interest-free payments, which means even our highest-end models you're going to find at prices that you're going to be able to afford.
Now we're going to continue, just like we did with last night's lineup, with 3 different categories, one per hour. Now, as we saw last night, and I'm trying to push this point home without making anyone too nervous out there, things are selling out very, very quickly. A lot of items that we even had slated for tonight's show, like I was telling you, we actually sold out of them even before we could air them tonight. So things are selling out. I want you to go to WorldofWatches.com where you can see the entire lineup and follow along there. Our first hour tonight, we're going to have a lot of new items and styles that you've never seen before, and a lot of them from brands that we haven't aired before, including Bulova AcuSwiss, which of course is an extension of Bulova Acutron. Our second hour tonight is going to be all automatics and mechanicals, although we will see some of those in our first hour. And then our third hour, we are calling last minute holiday gifts, but pretty much every single hour is going to give you great last minute holiday gifts. Here's the deal with the shipping. You guys know we always offer free shipping around here, and that's 365 days a year. But being that we are so close from Christmas Day right now, it's only 5 days away, here's what we're able to offer everyone out there if you order this weekend. Select 2-day shipping. It's an additional $9.99, so let's say it's $10 for 2-day shipping, and you're guaranteed to have it. Yeah, it's really good. You're guaranteed to have it for Christmas, and here's the great thing about it. It's not per item. Whether you order 1 watch or 5 or 6 watches, it's just the flat rate of $9.99. So I don't know about you, but I actually, other Christmas gifts and such that I'm giving people that I'm not getting here at World of Watches, I actually ordered a few things for some people from another big name website the other day. And even to get it with standard flat rate shipping, it was way more than $10. So this is 2-day shipping for $10.
We are delighted to be able to get those gifts to you as quickly as possible. Now, you should see things arriving. If you've already ordered stuff, I had some people kind of send me saying, is some of the shipping slowing down a little bit? We have been inundated. If you are receiving anything slowly, trust me, I know the folks out there right now are working their little backsides off to make sure you get your stuff for the holidays. Yeah, overtime and double shifts. So if there is a delay, and some of you have written and said, hey, can you get a little faster? Trust me, they're going as fast as they can, but you are going to be guaranteed with that 2-day shipping. It is going out and you will receive it, so don't worry about that.
All right, we want to talk to you guys on Twitter. I appreciate everybody who was sending me so many tweets last night at WOW TV Chat. We had a very active social media party last night, so keep it up, keep up the momentum tonight at WOW TV Chat so we don't make this guy feel bad because you guys only want to talk to me.
The only reason I'm here is so that she doesn't have to sit in the center of the TV where it looks
my
like...
hair's on fire?
Yes. We love all the people who tweeted like, the Holy Spirit is coming on Megan tonight.
I was compelled last
We loved
night.
that. We did. We really did. In fact, I was the one who sent the message. So we'll try to make sure that that fire doesn't get too warm, and we're glad you're there.
We're going to jump into a preview now and show you a little sample of what's coming up in our first of 3 hours. This is actually the first watch that we're going to kick the show off with. This is one of those Bulova AcuSwiss timepieces, 297396. Now, this is the 42mm Gemini. This is a Swiss-made watch with a Swiss-made mechanical movement. The design here is reminiscent of the Bulova designs you would have seen in the 1960s and 70s. In that beautiful 42mm silver tone case, you've got a classic, I'm going to call it a medium brown. It's not a super dark brown, but it's not a light tan. It's that nice medium brown, genuine leather strap, and it's almost done in a way where it feels like it's slightly weathered. I love that. Sapphire crystal, super luminova on the hour markers and the hands. 6 payments of $55, $297,396.
Right behind that, the 52mm Bolt Reserve from Invicta. Now the Reserve collection, I have a couple of watches from, Invicta that are from the Reserve collection. That tends to be a little higher end all the way around in its manufacturing, in its quality, and its content, and you certainly aren't going to be disappointed with this oversized watch. I happen to like this one a lot. I love the depth of the design through the dial, all the way down to going to that perlage decoration right below the superluminova that you're seeing at the hour markers. This is a bold watch. We know it's large, but wait till you see it on the wrist. We like it. We hope you're going to like it too. And only $110 to get this $659.99 watch home. Remember, if you order this one or a collection of watches tonight, it's only $9.99 to get it with second-day shipping. 179088 will get you the Invicta Bolt Reserve.
Coming up right behind that, 293861, the Frederique Constant 40mm. This is the limited edition Healey automatic. Healey, just like the race car, Frederique Constant is one of those Swiss-made brands that does a lot in the world of automotive racing. And here is a timepiece that commemorates the Healey. Now again, this Swiss-made timepiece does feature a Swiss-made automatic movement, but it's a super classic design all the way around. Slightly textured center chapter of the dial, the outer edge where you've got all of your stick hour markers. Each one individually has genuine Swiss superluminova along with the hands. You have a true 5-row multi-link bracelet on there. And look at the price. This is what we're doing until midnight tonight Eastern Standard Time. We are offering you a mere $2,100 timepiece for $880. Even better than that, 6 payments of $146.66. 6 payments on every single item that you'll see on the show tonight. What we did not sell out of from last night's show is still available at WorldofWatches.com, also with 6 payments. We'll even remind you of some of those later on tonight. But right now, this one, 293861.
That is such a classic design all the way around. Let you see the back of that watch. That's one
the
you
little
have.
Healey.
Yeah, you're going to love it.
First things first, though, we want to present our hot picks, 295808. Now, this watch, if you caught the show last night, you saw that this was one of our best sellers. And I was really excited to bring this watch out because I have actually never seen this exact variation of the 42mm Michael Kors. And I absolutely fell in love with it last night on the show when I was only seeing the video shot. I hadn't even held it live in my hands yet. When we come in close on this dial, you are going to be blown away that this is only $110. And that's a price of $225 in stores for this Michael Kors. Now what you're looking at is a genuine mother of pearl dial. And what they've actually done is they've painted the mother of pearl, in a dark, almost black color. Interestingly enough, when you look at mother of pearl that's been painted, it's not this top side of the mother of pearl, that's the side that gets painted. They actually paint the underside of the mother of pearl, so the side that you can't see. And then this beautiful color and shade is picked up when the light penetrates through that mother of pearl and is reflected off the back painted side. So here, that beautiful black mother of pearl dial has elegantly appointed stick hour markers. And know how at the edge of every single one of your little hour markers, you've got an individual bezel set crystal. Now when you move outwards to your actual bezel, which is fixed, but has a little coin edge decoration to it, you'll see that you've got 2 rings of crystals there as well. Absolutely elegant and stunning. To me, as we saw with some of the Michael Kors timepieces last night, these are those understated, luxurious watches that don't look like the traditional Michael Kors watches. Now, when you look at the bracelet and you look at the 42mm case, you can see that Michael Kors style. They're really good at popularizing that boyfriend watch, that chunky, oversized, what looks like a men's luxury dress watch. Of course, made for our ladies' wrists. But here, when you look at that bezel and the dial, it's really, really well done. And yes, it's all blinged out with crystals, but those crystals are so well appointed, they really look like true diamonds. Here's how that 42mm will play on a 6-inch wrist like mine. Now the nice thing is you've got a lot of extra bracelet length on here, so you can have a much larger wrist than my 6 inches and be able to fit into this just fine. And because Michael Kors watches are all about being oversized on the wrist, I know a lot of you ladies out there, even if you've got smaller than my 6-inch wrist, You'll be very, very comfortable. Once again, as you always get when you purchase with World of Watches, you always get 100% brand new, guaranteed authentic timepieces. Now, from time to time, we might air a store display model or a previously owned model, but Wiley and I will always tell you far in advance when those watches come down the line. So this Michael Kors watch, which is selling right now at all your favorite department stores, we've got it here for over $100 off the retail price. And yes, all you have to do to get it shipped to you for free, or with the additional $10 if you need it in time for Christmas, is put down $18.33 on any major credit card. 295-808. That's my hot pick of the night.
One of the things that I appreciate about WOW TV and World of Watches is that we have some of the best buyers in the industry. Now, the watch world is a very, very tight-knit place, and being able to get in those doors to get the best deals or to find out where the closeouts are, where the liquidations are, being able to have the relationship with the watch manufacturers that maybe if they have their 2012, 2013 models, 2014 models, we have the ability to get in there and to purchase them at a price that no one else can touch. Now, every watch that we're going to be presenting tonight, I believe, is going to be brand new. It's going to be in the box. One of your favorite boxes that you're going to want to get home is from Breitling. Breitling is just one of those companies that the moment you see the watches, you realize something special is there. Once you get through all of our packaging, you're going to find the Breitling packaging. And when you open that up and you see what's inside, it's exactly what you would want. Take a look at this. Now, mind you, there is your warranty card and all of your information on the watch. That's going to be in the box. This box is what people have aspired to have, not because of the leather box, but because of what's on the inside. And this particular version is going to be the 44mm Superocean Heritage. So I want you to see this and realize, Matt, if you're watching, a good friend of mine, this is the watch. I keep telling you over and over again, this is the one. This is the one you have to get. Matt's one of my friends. He is single, and he has the right shoes. He has the right look. Everything is. He has the right job. He's the nicest guy in the world. And they ask in the earpiece, why is he single? Well, it could be that third eye. But I think it's going to be that he doesn't have the right watch. All right, that's a little shallow, I admit. The third eye is disturbing. It blinks differently than the other two. But I think this Breitling 44mm Superocean is a fantastic watch to have as a part of your collection. Now, again, this is going to have the B23 movement on the inside, which is a 25 joule automatic. Now, the watch still has 42 hours of power reserve, and it's going to have counters at the 9 o'clock and the 3 o'clock position. You're going to have this beautiful coin edge bezel, and even though Breitling is an aviation-inspired company, this watch certainly has its ocean heritage. And with that unirotating bezel and 200 meters of water resistance, this is going to be the perfect dive watch. Don't be afraid to submerge a $6,200 watch in the water. Now, what you're going to love about that, too, is you're not going to pay $6,200. $49.97 is what it is at midnight tonight, but right now, to get it home for the holidays, $35.99. These are brand new in the box. This is not a watch you're going to have to worry about. These are not black market watches. These are truly, legitimately bought through us, from us, by us, from our sources, and we really, really appreciate how they give us the best deals to get you a watch that if you walked into the Breitling store, you're going to pay $62.45. This is also probably one of the prettiest bracelets, I think, in the watch world. Breitling does a great job with this woven stainless steel bracelet. But you'll notice that unlike some watches that have a stainless steel mesh bracelet, you would have to just wrap this around the wrist and it usually hides under the clasp. They'll come in even closer. I want you to see right here that this watch actually has links in it. So if you need to shorten the watch, there is a certain length of the bracelet that you can actually take out the links, and it allows you to shorten it to just the right size to fit your wrist. Now, again, it's a 44 millimeter case. I have a 6 3/4 inch wrist, and I'll tell you what, with what I'm wearing tonight, even though I'm in my dapper attire, this very sporty ocean-esque watch is a great look. It's hard to make a Breitling look bad. Now, the watch is 16.2 millimeters thick, and it is really just a powerhouse of a watch. I'd love for you to see more of this, and you will over the next 3 hours. So please consider this for your collection as a gift to yourself or someone else. 6 stress-free, interest-free payments of only $600. And remember, you're not going to pay any interest on that to get it paid off. So consider that. 282723. We would love to hear from you. And if you own this, we would love to see your wristing. Megan, what would they have to do to send snapshots of their watches on their wrist?
You can tweet us if you'd like directly at WowTVChat. It's very easy to contact us on Twitter there. Of course, we also have our master Facebook page. We have our social media on Twitter as well. There's a lot of ways to reach out to us, but if you want to talk to us or send us photos throughout the show, best way to do that is by sending us a message at WowTVChat. We got a great tweet in from Dan. He actually just sent in a wristie of him wearing an Elini Barokas watch that he got last week, the Elini Barokas Genesis. 297396. Now, last night on the show, we had a lot of great Bulova AcuSwiss timepieces, and we do have some that are still available that did not sell out. Now, for those of you that don't know, Acutron by Bulova was rebranded Bulova AcuSwiss in 2014. So sometimes we have watches on the show that say Bulova Acutron or Acutron by Bulova, and now we'll have some that say Bulova AcuSwiss. They are the same as far as both being Swiss-made Bulova timepieces. It's just they were recently rebranded nearly 2 years ago from Acutron to AcuSwiss.
Now, I want you to just look at the other watch I'm wearing just for a moment, and you'll notice that the open heart configuration, you have a balance wheel. Bulova, when they became Acutron, opening up that branch in 1960, first selling the Acutron brand, they were the first watch company to use a 360 hertz tuning fork instead of a balance wheel. They simply used that tuning fork to become the balance wheel. And that the only other thing that you would find that would use that type of accurate measurement of time was scientific instruments. And those watches also had the ability, and maybe you have one, that when they were running, because of the 360 hertz resonation, it vibrated and it had a slight hum to it. Well, now, generations later, Bulova AcuSwiss wants to show off just a little bit more. Now, this 42 millimeter Gemini mechanical is going to really be a heritage piece, particularly in its appearance. You know, with what I'm wearing, this is just the right watch.
Yeah,
I mean, really it is. I mean, this looks like it has stepped back in time. Even though you're getting 21st century technology and accuracy within the watch, it's still, because it's a mechanical, it is all springs and gears in here that is powering the watch. Now, because it is a mechanical, it's going to require winding. If it was an automatic, the simple motion of your body, motion of your arm, your wrist is going to power the watch. This is going to require every few days for you to power it up at the crown. Now, with a mechanical watch, you can overwind it. So when you begin to feel that resistance in there, you stop winding. If it's an automatic, it's going to be very difficult to overwind it because there's a clutch built in there that should keep most automatics from being overwound. This is a mechanical, of course, and I really think this looks like a heritage piece. I love that just a little bit of bright work right there. And you're right, Megan. There is just something about this strap that has a weathered look to it.
I love that.
Now, what do you like most about this style? I know you love the field style watches.
I do very much. I love that it is a vintage design. And if you, as I was doing some research, as I was saying on the show yesterday when I was researching Bulova AcuSwiss, a lot of these designs, including this Gemini collection, they are actual revisions of Bulova watches from the 1960s and 70s. And Bulova's got a really cool, very storied history with how technologically advanced they are and how much they've actually done in the world. As we were talking about even before the show, so I was like trying to tell Wiley, like, oh, did you know this and did you know this? And of course, he already knew all of this.
Yeah.
But Bulova watches, Bulova watches were actually a part of the very first moonwalk in 1969 with Buzz Aldrin. And it's really cool that there's another one that you can see when Bulova was first created and Joseph Bulova was developing Bulova, he created something at the top of a skyscraper in New York so that he could get very perfect accuracy for all of his timepieces. So there's a lot of really cool history that comes out when you research Bulova.
That goes back to 1875 when Bulova was founded, and it was Bulova who was in competition with Omega to try to be the first watch to be able to be in space on the moon, and it was a tight competition. What do you think?
It was this one, Bulova. We've got a lot more AcuSwiss to show you. So we want to get a little bit of the packaging and such out there. We want to make sure you understand what you are getting when you order your watches, whether you're ordering a Bulova or you're ordering a Michael Kors or a Swiss Legend, any sort of item from us. We always want you to know that it's the exact same experience as you would have if you were at a retail store, except the difference with us is the fact that we will save you so much more money. And we'll always give you the interest-free payment plan. And that is 6 payments on every single item this weekend. Now what you're looking at is the 42mm Kirkwood, another Swiss made from Bulova AcuSwiss. These are all going to be Swiss made. These are all going to have sapphire crystals. I just want to get that out of the way so you understand you're always getting the utmost quality and value here. Looking into your dial, we'll get a little closer so you can see, you've got this dark, I'm going to call it almost a gunmetal dial with pops of black in there, because even though our graphics say black, I do see some gunmetal. And that's because you've got a partial cutaway dial, because this automatic is showing you not just that date wheel that goes all the way around the outer dial, but also a part of your movement. And that movement is the Valjoux 7750 25 joule automatic chronograph. And you can see your continuous running seconds are moving at the 9 o'clock position. So this 42mm classic take on a modern day style has the Valjoux 7750, and I'm going to turn it around, open up the bracelet, so you can see your partial exhibition case back that shows you that movement right in there. This is a 25 joule automatic movement that, of course, as most manufacturers and Swiss-made watch manufacturers will do, when they purchase a movement in-house, say a lot of companies which do purchase at a base movement, such as the 7750, they then modify them to their exact specifications. So that's what Bulova has done here, including showing the date window at the 4 o'clock position, skeletonizing that dial. Wow, that looks good.
Yeah, it does. Even though this watch has very much a modern feel to it at some glances, it really is a tip of the hat when you look into that dial and you see the cutaway. You're able to see the expanded date window taking a peek back, and it's not quite a skeletonized dial as much as it is really almost like an exhibition dial that allows you to see through the subdials into some of the inner workings without it being so complicated that you can't quite tell what's going on. This is an easy to read watch, simple 3-hand configuration, the hour, the minute. You happen to have a continuously running sweep hand as well as a locked into place sweep hand in the center position and a date complication. 297398 will get you the Bulova AcuSwiss Kirkwood.
Now moving on, more AcuSwiss this hour. We've got one that is so new, we've actually got to go to it live because we have not even shot a B-roll video for this. That's how new this AcuSwiss is that's coming up right now. This is part of the Calibrator collection. And this is that cool one that we've seen before when it was Acutron Bulova. That includes that very special key right there.
Jenny, do we have the key? You know, each week I ask for the key because I would love to show folks the key that's going right there. Now, give me just a second to give you a little bit of explanation why that key is important and why this watch is unique. When you have an automatic watch, remember, it is simply springs and gears and levers that are causing that watch to keep time. It's the energy and the mechanism that's running it. The problem with an automatic watch or a mechanical is it can begin to run a little fast or a little slow. That's when you would take the watch to a jeweler. That jeweler would open it up, and with the smallest and most delicate of instruments, they are able to adjust the time on the watch, not as far as the time here on the dial, but the timing inside to speed it up or slow it down. Here, they've bypassed the jeweler, and with a special key that you can insert right here at the 9 o'clock position, you're able to calibrate the Calibrator watch. And simply adjusting it is going to allow you to either speed it up or slow it down. So if you're wearing the watch and you notice after a month or two, this runs a little fast, you can slow it down. That is incredible to be able to do that and not have to see a jeweler and not have to worry about damaging it, because the retrograde dial at the 9 o'clock position is just right for being able to see how you're adjusting it. Let's take a peek.
Now, the Bulova AcuSwiss Calibrator is actually the world's first automatic that gives you the power to fine-tune the accuracy. And that's, as you were explaining, using that key. And they have a proprietary external fine adjustment system that's enabling you to do that. And this is the very first watch that has ever had this technology.
I think it's incredible because I have a certified chronograph. I mean, it's an Invicta. It's one of the Reserve collection. It's a great watch. It's a beautiful watch, but it has a tendency to run a little slow. The only way I can fix that is to take it to a jeweler. I don't want to take it to a jeweler. I don't want to have to do that. But it's just one of the things you have to do with a mechanical or an automatic. This you're able to do at home. That's why that's important. Only $83.33 to get it home. That's your first of 6 stress-free, interest-free payments. 297400 for the Bulova AcuSwiss.
Now we're going to move on to 2 variations of the Telk automatic. These are all 25 joule automatics from Bulova AcuSwiss, and these were those really cool watches that we saw on the show last night that are done in grade 5 titanium. Some of them are done in grade 5 titanium. I believe we've got the stainless steel ones to show you right now. And moreover than that, these are all a part of the collection that are the official timekeeping watches for Manchester United.
Oh, that's wonderful. These look good too. I don't believe I have seen these watches in the studio.
Yeah, these are brand new to the show.
That's great. I'm loving the fact that we're able to present that to you.
These are actually, I believe, a part of the Percheron collection, not the Telk, I believe. We're going to get the right graphics up for you in just one moment. Excuse me on that.
Take a peek right there. That really does look good.
These are 42 millimeter cases, about 42 and a half on the wrist, 42 and a half millimeter cases, and they are all a part of celebrating the partnership that Bulova AcuSwiss has with Manchester United. They're the official timekeepers of them, actually.
Look at that. And you're going to love this multi-layered case. I mean, you can actually see the bolts that are holding it together, both front and back. And it really has a look and a feel to it that you understand why the watch would sell for $1,300 in a retail store. Now, the wow price of $971, we'd love to give you value, but that price is just too high. $971. If it goes back up to that, you wait for it to go on sale again. But right now, why we have them, I would get it at $389.99. Because that is, you're not going to find it anywhere less than that. Go ahead. If you want to take time, Google it, see what you can find. But to get this Swiss-made Bulova AcuSwiss is really, really phenomenal. You're also going to be able to see the curvature right there, just ever so slightly within that case. And you can see how well that's going to fit on the wrist. In fact, I'll show you that in just a moment. All Swiss-made, sapphire crystal, water resistant to 100 meters, and I love how the blue just kind of pops. But maybe the blue isn't the right color for you. Do you like the blue best?
I like the blue because it's got the anodized aluminum blue, including the inner tension ring of the dial. But I think this next one that we're going to, because it's a bit more classic with just silver tone and black, might be a little bit more in line with what some gentlemen out there are going to want to wear more of. You know what I like that's interesting about it is the unique styling of the case. Because it's got the Manchester United crest on it, I like that the shape of the case almost looks like a crest in and of itself. Even with the way they've done the etching around where the bolts are holding the case together, because you can see that it's a multi-piece case design. I like that it almost looks like something sort of traditional like that.
There is just something about the watch that does not look, I mean, you know, this is a standard for me. I don't like when things look like other things. And even, we have watches, and I love some of the folks on the watch blogs that point out, hey, you know, one of your watches looks like this high-end or looks like that. Because it's really, you know, it helps us when you notice where we get our inspiration from and whether you like it or not. I think Bulova has done a great job. They didn't take inspiration from anybody. This is just one of the watches that is completely original. They have done such a good job. You can see it's a 3-hand configuration, the hour, the minute, a continuously operating sweep hand, and you'll notice a reverse date wheel right there at the 3 o'clock position, black wheel, white lettering, and it's almost kind of a slate. How would you describe, come back to that close-up one more time.
Of the dial?
Yeah, what would you say? It's kind of a slate look to
We
it?
actually, yeah, it's done with that nice brush finishing. And last night we had one that was available in grade 5 titanium. And it was done with all black PVD coating over it.
Oh,
and it
wow.
was interesting. And I think some of those might still be available. But it was cool because the brushed PVD coating of the titanium matched perfectly to the brushed finishing of the dial work. And it all blended in almost like one solid piece. And so that's what they're sort of mirroring here, except with the stainless
I think it looks
steel.
great, and for only $65, you are getting an incredible value.
Now we're going from one super sporty design to another that's got a true classic, and this was part of that Telk Automatic collection right here. These look more to me like those classic, almost doctor's timepieces.
This, to me, looks like it came straight out of 1958.
That's very specific.
Well, it is very specific. I think this is just, this is really a good-looking watch.
Let's do a quick mention of this one.
Yes.
297402. This is the Telk Automatic. Now, this is another one in an automatic. All of these that we're showing you are automatics, and you were right. You know what's interesting? These were actually inspired by designs from the 1960s and 70s. Here, you've got a double curved sapphire box crystal, and what's interesting about these is the case back is actually got a unique screwed in case back. Silver tone dial done in a soft sun ray finish. No Arabic numerals or Roman numeral hour markers. It's all stick hour markers, each one with Swiss Super Luminova. Gorgeous black genuine leather strap, mirror polishing around the case, and the date window moved to the 6 o'clock position. All right, moving on to the next one. Here we're going to go back to a Gemini, I believe. Another Swiss made. We had a lot of these on the show last night. These were some of the best sellers from last night's program. Remember, you can still shop last night's lineup at WorldofWatches.com. We have the entire lineup. We post the entire thing on Saturday night, so that way you're able to shop, as Wiley and I like to say, in the future. So here, we've got a few of these still available, including this 42mm Gemini in an automatic chronograph with the Valjoux 7750 25 jewel movement. You know what I love so much about these, Wiley? And I know we've spoken about this before. I love the texture of the dial. To me, the texturing, when you see it in motion, it almost looks like a snake or reptile print.
And I want to just reassure everybody, when we're talking about something having a Valjoux in it, if we want to be always 100% honest with you. Somebody sent me a message the other day about a watch company, not us, that they had done a watch. They were claiming it was a Valjoux 7750, and it wasn't. At some point in mid-production, they replaced it with like an SW500 or something to that effect. Please know that when we are presenting something to you and saying that it's a Valjoux, it is a Valjoux. We want you to be able to crack these watches open and to be able to see what's inside and to know that we're speaking authoritatively about what's on the inside. And by all means, Megan and I both want you to know that if you ever hear us say something that is not right, is not accurate, would you please tweet us, send us a message, an email, a text? Because if we can correct it on the air, if we've made a mistake, good heavens, we're human.
Absolutely.
We want to do it, but we always want to be honest with you. And I know that some people are going to pause and go, there's no way Bulova put a Valjoux 7750 in a $499 watch.
Well, they didn't. It's a $1,700 watch.
And that's why you're on the program. Because that's exactly right. We're able to get a certain allotment of these watches that we can offer at our wow price. And nothing gets more attention than selling a $1,700 watch for $499. So by all means, and if you're one of those folks out there that needs to, open the watch up and see what's inside, you're going to find the value movement in there. And we certainly trust Bulova. They're the ones that provided the watches and the information. So we think that looks great, and it's a great value. And it has that classic value configuration with that modification to have not just the date, but the day complication is part of it. Now, where else are you going to be able to get an all Swiss made watch with a value movement for $83.33? Look at that. Now that's going to be your first of 6 stress-free, interest-free payments. I love the texturing on that dial. There's just something about this watch that just bespeaks of class, sophistication. There's an elegance to it.
I love the step-down bezel design. It adds a nice little bit of dimension to it. But more than anything, the fact that you've got a true guilloche dial, that means that all of that texture that I call snake print, all of that in there was done by someone's hands, not just a machine stamping it. That was somebody laboring over each individual dial piece to do all of that beautiful decoration.
And when you look at it right straight on like this, you're not seeing all the bright work. It's only when it captures the reflection, like right there. You see that there's almost jewel cuts into those chevrons that are at the hour positions. I think it really looks good.
297-408, the 42-millimeter Gemini automatic. This variation on bracelet. Consult our website, WorldofWatches.com, to see some of the other variations we have. Look at how gorgeous this one is. Another Gemini. Now we're in a classic three-hand. Because there's a difference, of course, whether or not you care to have the chronograph in there. Some people like the clean, classic look of just the three-hand movement. Here, if you prefer that, you'll save a little bit of extra money there. But also, I think it also frees up some room to see that beautiful texturing.
And I think this is gorgeous, the way that they have used the gold plating on here. And I've talked about this in the past. It takes an extra effort to not just gold plate the case on the front and sides, but to also do it on the back. And I think that looks incredible, the way they have finished the watch out, all the way down to using that same plating on the dual push button, dual scissor deployant. Now, when you look at this watch, it really looks much more expensive than that $299 price. Is it running at the $746 price for WOW? I think for a Swiss-made watch, you're getting pretty close. $995, that's high. Even for the AcuSwiss. But look at our price, $299. This is one of the watches that's worth that $10 2-day shipping to get for that gift.
Absolutely. And remember, that's per order. It's not a per item deal. So you can order 1 watch or 5 watches, and it's just the flat rate of $9.99 that will allow you the 2-day shipping. Look at that right there. When the light hits that dial, it is just so stunning. We got a great tweet in from Bill. He actually sent in a wristy shot of him wearing his Jean Richard, and he said he's really impressed with these beautiful Bulovas. And I agree. I love being able to see these AcuSwiss timepieces because it's interesting. I wasn't even aware that Acutron had become AcuSwiss or was rebranded about 2 years ago. And so it's kind of cool that we're now seeing that shift, because these, of course, are all newer timepieces then, because if Acutron became AcuSwiss in late 2014, these are all new items, not just to World of Watches, but to retail in general.
Well, certainly, when you have a company that's been around since 1875, when they launch a new division, Acutron, in 1960, they wanted to get the world's attention with their technological advances. Now, by shifting to AcuSwiss, it allows for them to emphasize the Swiss-made, whether it is going to be the genuine Swiss-made or the movement inside. And it's just really showing the luxury of going back not just to the future, this time to the past, and being able to pull into old school watchmaking, which we think you're going to appreciate with an all Swiss-made watch from Bulova. You like this one?
I do.
Well, it looks good.
You know I'm crazy about black and rose.
That really does look good.
Here's another one. Let's up the ante.
There you go.
So let's go back to another Gemini automatic. This one, though, it's kind of like the best of both, because now we've got that beautiful black textured dial, that stunning 18-karat rose gold tone over stainless steel. I want to get in close on, I sit a little bit closer to the close-up camera, if you will. And so I want you to be able to see the texturing on that dial. There you can see, I love the way even like the black sub-dials blend in perfectly to that gorgeous texturing. Your 25 joule automatic chronograph timepiece here with your day and date complication at the 3 o'clock position. Beautiful anti-reflective coating over your curved sapphire crystal. Notice these almost sword style hour markers and how each one is slightly beveled and they're mirror polished. So that way when the light hits them, they get this sparkle or twinkle, almost as if you've got jewelry on your wrist, gentlemen. The curvature of the sapphire crystal is only equally matched by the beautiful step-down bezel design, so it adds this nice little dimension all the way around. And here is another one of my favorite parts. Sorry that it's a little smudged, because that's just my fingerprints. Even the case back is done in 18 karat rose tone. How exquisite that now, normally I like to say, oh, you know, when you're wearing a timepiece and it's rose tone or it's gold tone, don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, solid gold is always touching your wrist. But a lot of times, manufacturers don't plate the case back. It's just too costly to do. And a lot of times, it doesn't make sense for a watch manufacturer to spend the money to plate a case back if nobody's ever going to see it, right? That's how you know quality. That's how you know good detail and craftsmanship. When AcuSwiss actually took the time to not just plate all of the edges that your eye would see when you're wearing it, but even when your wrist, when it's on your wrist feels only gold.
Well, that's what I love about it, because even though there's 316L stainless steel is kind of a more hypoallergenic metal that's very rare to have someone have a reaction to that, it's also even rare for someone to have a reaction to gold.
Oh, God, that would be terrible.
I'm allergic to
so
gold.
sad.
That would be your problem. I'm allergic to gold and diamonds. But this is nice to know that what's touching your body is gold. And the micron plating on there, you're going to find is designed to last a lifetime. Just like you had someone say to you, I don't want to wear a gold-plated watch because I don't want it flaking off.
Yeah, that was really embarrassing. That was my boyfriend, by the way. I was suggesting a Raymond Wild timepiece in a two-tone to him, and he goes, I don't know, I just really don't want the rose gold to chip off. And I was like, have you learned nothing?
She clutched the pearls and was just like, no way.
You don't have to worry about that, especially with a timepiece of this quality. I know the price that you're paying might make you think that you're somehow getting something not quite up to par, but you are certainly always getting top tier quality with us. That's how we're able to do what we do here, and for so well and for so long. One last look here at the Gemini in the automatic chronograph. Another thing that I want to make a note of that I always like, and we've talked about this before, I like that they did the dark brown leather strap and then the black dial. Great for you gentlemen out there. The days where you're not sure, do you wear the black shoes or the brown shoes or the black watch or the brown watch? Some people can be very particular. Again, I'm probably just calling out my boyfriend.
You know who she's referring to.
Colin. We should move on.
What a lucky man.
I remind him of that only like 10 times.
I read it just like you
just
wrote
like
it.
I wrote it?
Somebody sent me a message the other day, and they were asking, what is our relationship with Bulova?
Oh, I was like, where's this going?
What is our relationship, Megan? And I'm like, well, we can't discuss it on the air.
Read it like you wrote it. Read it like I wrote it.
Senator, I do not know this woman. But one of the things that people need to know is that we have a great relationship with Bulova.
Yes, we do.
In fact, I think it was at Basel World last year that some of our high-end peeps was talking with their high-end peeps.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
And they really set up the ability for us to have first access at the precisionist watches and the ultra-high frequency watches. It also has allowed us to have some of the best video and promotional material because they sent it directly from Bulova to us. That is probably one of the greatest compliments, is when a watch company like Bulova trusts a company like World of Watches and Swiss Watch International. It just tells you of our relationship, and that's how we're able to present, at times, watches that just seem ridiculously low priced. Well, here is another one. Now, this is a variation of exactly what you saw earlier. This is the Calibrator, but this time you have it in two-tone. And Megan, I have to say this is my favorite variety of this watch. Notice all the way down to the calibration key entry right here, you have just a little pop of gold. You have pop of gold going around the bezel. This is that same watch where you have the ability to adjust the calibration inside of it. Now you can wind the watch through the crown or simply with the motion of your body because it's an automatic. This Swiss-made watch, if it begins to run a little faster, a little slow, all you have to do is with a key that is provided, you can adjust the watch to speed it up or slow it down.
They're able to guarantee with their proprietary technology 99.9% accuracy.
That is incredible because like I said, I have a certified chronometer and it runs slow. But then again, when it's running at 3 to 6 kilohertz, which is what an automatic watch runs, it's going to be accurate to within 10 to 15 seconds per day. That's allowable. Here's a watch that if that's bothering you, that it's off by 15, 20 seconds a day, you have the ability to set the calibration and it's going to be incredibly accurate. What did you say? More than ivory soap is pure?
Yeah, 99.9% they guarantee.
That's incredible. For $81.67. That's your first of 6 stress-free interest-free payments, $297416, the Bulova AcuSwiss Calibrator.
So last night we had a Daniel Wellington on the show, and it seems like we only have one remaining. So we won't, unfortunately, be able to spend too much time on this because this is about to sell out. What's funny is we actually had a few different Daniel Wellington collections slated for the show last night, and this was the only one that didn't sell out right away. So we've got one remaining of this. I'm going to go right to my wrist with this because we've only got another minute with this. Classic, clean lines in a unisex, somewhat preppy design, and that's not just my description of it. Even if you go to Daniel Wellington's own website, they do believe that their timepieces are more preppy, but I do love the clean lines. This is the kind of timepiece that a man or a woman could very easily wear and enjoy. And what's so great about it, it is so slim. It is so easy to wear. You'll notice that the slimline design of the case is nearly as thick as the padded leather strap. So this is one of the easiest, most comfortable, and lightweight watches to wear. It's going to be light on the wallet as well because we took over $100 off the price, and with the 6 payments, $18.33 gets it home. $295,345.
That's a good-looking watch.
It's a great story behind Daniel Wellington, too. Remind me to tell you sometime.
Okay. Over coffee.
179088. This is a deal that y'all need to be paying attention to. Very, very rarely are we able to bring out a $5,000 Invicta that we have every day on our website for $1,600 and drop $1,000 off the price. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a Swiss-made watch. Swiss-made Invicta. Chronograph movement inside, 200 meters of water resistance. It's a 52 millimeter monster. This is a beast of a watch. Take advantage. We are the largest authorized retailer of Invicta in the world. We guarantee the lowest prices on every single watch. This watch is an Invicta that is a certified chronometer. It's also a professional grade diver. Take advantage. A $5,000 retail price every day on our website. We've got it at $1,600 tonight. You put $110 down on any major credit card. Look at that. You're saving $1,000 just off our everyday discounted price. 179088.
Here is a very unusual watch that I happen to like a lot. Do you like this watch?
Do you remember us playing with that watch the very first time on air?
Yes, I do.
That was scary.
This was a watch that, just because it is very unusual.
We have very limited quantity on this, because remember the last time we ever aired this watch, we only had one remaining and it sold out.
Did we really?
Yes.
Well, let's take a peek at it. This is a bold design. I want to buy this watch.
Such a cool look.
And I'll show you why. Now, it's not just, incredible Russian diver. Of course, you have that canteen-style protector. It's going to help add to the water resistance. But this is one of those watches that the artwork of the watch is on the inside. Now, yes, you can look in that dial. Come in even closer. Take a peek at that beautiful skeletonized dial with that very unique, almost diver-esque protector like you would find on an old school diving helmet. But here's the part of the watch, Megan, that I think just sold me on it. Because there's so much. This looks like Captain Nemo's watch. Okay, just flip the watch over. I want you to see. Just stay with me. There are 2 unique releases. Look, notice the back of the watch when you move this, what happens. It's like unlocking a vault, and look inside of there. Isn't that awesome? Absolutely love that. And it allows you to see inside. So go ahead, how close can you get on that? Yeah, they're going to pull in really close on this. That is awesome. Now I'm going to undo the crown because this watch has not been wound. And you'll notice that when I'm winding it, and that's what you're going to have to do with the mechanical, you can see the actual winding of that movement right there. And there's the balance wheel beginning to kick in. Take a look at that. Look at all of that perlage that's on the protector for the watch. Now this has an ETA 6497 17 joule mechanical movement on the inside. Do you like this, Megan?
I do. I was just thinking, you know how we were joking earlier before the show that you've got your Sherlock Holmes look on?
Yes.
I really think that this is the perfect watch for you.
This is. This should do something. I mean, this should do something even more than what it's already doing. I just love the watch. I mean, this would make a great gift for somebody to get me. Family, if you're watching out there, you need to pool your resources so that we can get this. Because at this price, instead of $6,000, look at how we've marked it down to $1,000. Now, I realize it's a bold watch, but take a look. Meg, would you be so good to close up that little clasp right there?
Absolutely. Look
That,
at you.
Look at that.
You're ready to fight crime in 1700 Great Britain.
Would you go with me? We can do this. That just looks incredible. I mean, there is no way. I'm not a big fan of oversized watches. I trust the ETA movement that's in here. I trust, Invicta has done a great job with their cases. They really have. I mean, I have old school Invictas, which I love those styles. There are, you know, a lot of ones that I do like of the modern era. This watch is just bold, but I love how it looks. 21195221951. I'm making it up as I go along, people. $176.66. That's your first of 6 stress-free, interest-free payments. We think you're going to like it. Now, Frederique Constant, the 44mm
40
Healey.
millimeter.
What did I say?
This is a 40 millimeter limited edition Healey. As I was talking about in the preview, Frederique Constant is one of those brands that is very synonymous with automotive racing and all different kinds of vintage racing. Remember we were talking, I think it was a couple weeks ago, about Frederique Constant, that they did the Peking to Paris.
Peking.
Peking. Yeah, I was worried.
That's okay.
I was thinking of the chicken or the duck.
The order.
Here is their streamlined classic in the limited edition Healey. Now, Healey, of course, signifying the classic race car, and you can see the tiny little emblem right there, just above the 6 o'clock date window. Other than that, right there, I want to turn it around once we show you that little shot so you can see the case back. So here, you can see your little Healey, and then when you turn it around, I love this. You've got the little Healey race car engraved right on the case back. But the case back does more than just that, because you also have your own individual number, as this is a numbered limited edition. Now this 40 millimeter automatic is in a classic size and a classic design. I like the fact that we're showing you a timepiece that has an automotive edge to it, but it's not crazy colors. It doesn't have all sorts of gears and different springs and things on it, where sometimes I think that when we see things that have a bit of a theme or an inspiration, it's not applicable to wearing every single day to the office, right, gentlemen? This, however, just with the exception of having a little Healey right there, this is a very beautiful, very classic timepiece. Now inside is the FC303 automatic movement. That is a base SW200 automatic movement that Frederique Constant then modifies to their own specifications. So you have a Solita SW200 automatic movement inside here. Your power reserve is an average of 38 hours, so you get a nice amount of power there with your 26 joule FC303 automatic movement. Easy to wear, even on my 6-inch wrist, and I will pass it over to Wiley to try on. I like the way it's a slightly rounded case, and you can see the way it fits beautifully to the wrist. So easy. Nice slimline design for you gentlemen to wear every single day to the office. You have a true 5-row multi-link bracelet. And now, I'm just going to pass it over. Please try that on very quickly for me, sir.
I can't tell you how comfortable this bracelet. Well, let me try. I want to tell you how comfortable this bracelet is.
It really is, right?
Well, not just the comfort of the bracelet, but how slimline the watch is to have this this movement on the inside. Look at that. This is a gorgeous watch. Now, several of the folks out there in the watch blogging world have just talked about how much they enjoy Frederique Constant watches. They really are well made. They've loved the quality of the bracelets, the clarity of the sapphire crystal. They've really appreciated the reliability and the accuracy of the movement, and we like them too. We're delighted to be able to get them in. And when we do, we mark the price down as low as we possibly can. The $2,000 list price is what you're going to pay in the retail store. We don't want to do that ever. Look at this $879 price point for this limited edition piece. Only $146.66 gets it home. 29 and a bunch of other numbers. They do that.
Moving on, 297,395 to a watch that we opened the hour with. Here's another variation of that 42 millimeter mechanical from the Gemini collection at AcuSwiss Bulova.
It's our deja vu hour.
So Bulova, as I believe I've mentioned before on the show, but it's very interesting to know this, Bulova was the very first company to ever air a radio commercial, and they were then the very first company to ever air a television advertisement. Isn't that cool?
You know, I think they've always tried to be on the cutting edge. And you think about a company going back to 1875, you think of more history and heritage. But they've tried very diligently to make sure that they were a company that always had one foot in the future. Now, I'm going to take this off just so you can see. I want you to see the clasp back here. I want you to see that you have a dual push button, dual scissor deployant. That simply means that when you feed the leather through the deployant clasp, you have the ability to take some of that stress off the leather by feeding it through there. When you do, it allows you, once you've sized the watch, it's always going to be the right size for you. Now, hitting the two push buttons right there, that's going to allow you to release the deployant, and I'll put that back on the wrist so you can see how that looks. Now, then, this is also a classic. This kind of looks like 1940s to me. And it's in that field style, which you like.
I do like that very much.
Which is almost military, but not.
Well, no, yeah, that's exactly what it is, because this is actually part of, when I was researching Bulova, as I told you, I found out, they really, with the Gemini collection, wanted to go back to their roots in the 1960s of the classic, almost military designs and the clean lines you would have seen on an officer's timepiece.
Well, they've accomplished it. I think it looks incredible.
So do you agree when I say that, as we've talked about on the show before, that when you have a mechanical timepiece, it almost creates a relationship between you and your watch?
Oh, that I do,
In the sense that
yes.
you've actually got to do something. I mean, I love the accuracy of having a quartz. I think automatics are wonderful too, because it's that step up. But having a mechanical is really special. And the thing is, they can usually be very, very expensive. So I appreciate that this not only has a cool look that I think a lot of different people can enjoy, because it's got a vintage styling. So it makes, you know, somebody that maybe would remember these timepieces from the 1950s and 60s sort of have that nostalgia. But then also somebody like me that maybe wasn't around back then.
I wasn't either. Good heavens.
Can appreciate a style like that. It's like how they always say what goes around comes around. And I know that will be coming back to me too.
You better
I was
believe
talking
it.
about fashion now. So anyways, just my 2 cents. Let's take a look. We've got another Gemini to show you here. I am crazy about these guilloche dials. I guess for me, I just can never believe, or I know it's true, I just cannot believe that this is somebody that sits there, an artist, if you will, that sits there and actually does all of that detail by hand.
And there is a lot of detail in this. In fact, as you come in even closer, I want you to take a peek at that dial, just exactly like Megan was talking about. Now we're going to come in really close, and you can see that beautiful, look at that.
Do you see how it almost looks like a flower, sort of?
Yeah,
in the center
I do.
chapter
I see
too?
how the light captures it and it just kind of moves around. I also really appreciate the fact that they did not overcomplicate the hour markers
Yes.
or the hands. They could have done very stylized hands and sweep hand and just done some things to make it look very busy. Instead, they've allowed that extra decoration on that dial to become a center focus point. It's easy to tell the time against that background with that 3-hand configuration. Those simple stick hour markers with just a little bit of faceting so that you do get a pop of flash every now and then. And you have the date complication between the 4 and 5 o'clock position. The watch is very traditional in a lot of its appearance, but what you're not going to have to pay is a price that's going to be a premium. The watch normally would sell retail for $950. Well, that's going to be a little high, and I think the 712 is a little high, but if you'd marked it down to say $500, $499, well, that's a pretty good price for this watch. But $289.99, that is a bargain and a half. Automatic, Swiss-made, 42 millimeter, sapphire crystal, genuine leather strap, croco embossed, so that you certainly get that even higher end look. You have a dual scissor, dual push button deployant on the back, which is going to allow that leather to stay looking great for years to come. And you have this is what I'm going to call a safe watch. If you have somebody that's a watch lover or somebody that's never had a nice watch before,
Absolutely.
This is one of those watches that it's very easy to purchase for somebody and you know they're going to like it. Because I'm a watch collector, but if somebody bought me this watch, this is not a watch to scoff at.
No, absolutely not. It's a Swiss-made automatic.
Well, there's some
Like,
watches.
what's wrong with him?
Somebody's going to, there's some watches that might go, oh, that's lovely, it's an automatic, but it's a Chinese automatic. Even though it might be a great Chinese automatic, they may not like it. And the style, I don't want to say it's safe. I want to say it is just classic enough that people will not turn away from this. You got to love it.
All right, well, that takes us to the end of our first hour, and as we move into our second hour, we're going to continue the momentum with all automatics and mechanicals. Now, we are going to still have some Swiss-made this hour, but we'll see. I love when the camera shifts.
Sorry, we're aboard
We're on a
ship,
boat,
ladies and gentlemen. I love you, Rose. You threw the necklace.
I will let go.
You will not throw that necklace in the water.
No, not the necklace, but if you were sitting on that driftwood, I'd be like, get off.
Okay, if Rose had stayed in the lifeboat like she was supposed to,
None of this would have happened.
She made it into the lifeboat.
I know.
Then there wasn't a piece of driftwood for Jack. There, we've solved that one.
Spoiler alert, that's how Titanic ends. So we're moving into our second hour where we'll have all automatics and mechanicals as well. We'll have some Swiss-made, we'll have some Chinese, Japanese. We've got a whole plethora of different... What are you doing?
Nothing. I'm smiling. I'm still laughing at the last comment. Then you said plethora.
We'll have an entire plethora of different watches for you guys to choose from. Remember our shipping arrangement that we have going on right now. If you want to guarantee that your orders will be there in time for Christmas delivery, make sure you select 2-day shipping for just $9.99, and that's a per order deal. So you can order either 1 or 10 watches, it does not matter, and it's just one price of $9.99. Think about how much you're saving watching this show anyways, and if you waited until last minute, which I do pretty much this is like the first year that I've already got all my Christmas shopping taken care of.
Oh, no, not me.
Really?
No,
So
I've
then
got so
at
much
times
to
it's
do.
like you just sort of have to accept, all right, I'll pay a little bit more for shipping, I'll
Sure.
spend a little bit more at stores, what have you. But here, it's just $9.99, and that's for 2-day shipping.
And that's if you buy one watch, or if you buy 10 watches, it's still just that one $9.99 upcharge there. That's it.
We love talking to you guys. You guys have been so awesome this weekend on Twitter at WowTVChat. Keep sending us great messages. We're talking over here to Tim and Bill and Scott and Dan. So many great followers that we just love to communicate with you guys. So while you're watching the show, if you've got a question about something, or if you've got a comment about a watch you're wearing, like we got a great comment in from Tim. He was talking about when you were wearing that Invicta, that Russian diver that I was saying was the Sherlock Holmes watch. He wrote that the reason for that front lever on the Russian diver is that you can remove the cage by turning it.
Oh, Jenny,
just
hand
a
me that
little
watch.
bit.
I found that out. I'm so glad you pointed that out, because while she was showing the next watch, I was fiddling with the Invicta going, I know that comes off, but you hate to like pop it off when it's on the air and then it flies and bounces and all that.
Isn't it cool that our viewers are even schooling us every now and then? And that's
We
what we
love
love
that.
you guys so much for. We really do.
What he was talking about is you rotate this right here. Come in even closer and I'll show him that. Megan, you notice when you turn this handle right here, the cage on the front rotates and it allows you to basically pop it out. And that is, I don't have the nails for it.
I'm not messing up my nails.
But you should. It's for the show. There we go. That actually comes out right there. I'm afraid to
that's
pop
cool.
it off. I'm afraid to pop that off because if
Don't be afraid.
I'm afraid I'm gonna break it doing it the wrong way.
Well, no, we'll
Anyway.
just say Tim on Twitter told us that we could do it.
Oh, that's right, Tim. See, it's right there.
Oh yeah, it does pop off.
There it does.
There it
I know
goes.
it does. See, I'm afraid to pull on that.
Any
There we
minute
go.
now, it's really easy to do.
It's a little bit more difficult when you don't want to break the $1,000 Invicta on the air. Anyway, being able to open up both of those gives you a complete view all the way through the watch, because you have that exhibition back and front, and you can see all the way through.
That is cool.
Kind of cool. Thanks for noticing that and pointing out. We are live. We're right here. We're not making this stuff up.
Yes, we are right here. Let's jump into a preview and show you what's coming up. More automatics and mechanicals abound.
You're just like
I know.
philosophical, and
I know, it's pretty amazing.
you have a plethora of new things to say.
226296. It's that word of the day toilet paper that you got me. It's really helping.
Word of the day toilet paper.
226296, the 40 millimeter Kirkwood. Back to Acutron by Bulova. Here, you've got a Swiss-made automatic with that open heart complication at the 12 o'clock position that allows you to see right into the literal heartbeat of your automatic movement. And that framing over it is the tuning fork. That is the Bulova Acutron logo right there. And because when the Acutron was developed in the 1960s, it was the tuning fork that made it considered technically the very first electronic watch.
Because that tuning fork running at 360 hertz was resonating, and it was acting as the balance wheel instead of having the traditional balance wheel. That's why the Acutron hummed. So this is a nice homage to that with that beating heart and their little logo right there. It kind of looks cool.
226296. It's really cool. At 6 payments is $63. One of our own timepieces, the 46 millimeter Swiss Legend Abyssos. I call this the Abyssos 2.0 because those of you who have been a fan and a follower of Swiss Legend for many years remember the original Abyssos, which was a 1,000 meter diver, but this one is a Swiss-made automatic with 1,000 meters of water resistance. It's going to wear on the wrist like a 48 millimeter. Inside is a 26 joule Swiss-made automatic movement. It's the STP-1-11. Now, those of you who have been following along with the show for a while might notice that we've dropped the price here. The stress-free payments, you're under $50 a month for a Swiss-made watch that is not just a dive watch. This is a dive tool. 274856. 6 payments of $46.66. Well, I hope we have this mechanical Momo on the show because last night we were only able to mention it. 283000. I know that it says titanium and gray dial. It's actually all 316L stainless steel. It is not a titanium watch. It's just done in a brushed finishing to simulate the look of titanium. You have a Swiss-made ETA mechanical movement inside and your own number out of the numbered limited edition for the collection. 283000. 6 payments of $58.33. Again, that is all stainless steel, not titanium. It's just meant to simulate the look of
It's the
titanium.
look, that's right. Because if it was titanium, it would be a lot more than $349.
Right, well, the list price is $2,000, but yes, I agree with you.
Thank you, Megan.
Quick mention of our hot picks, but you know what? Actually, I'm going to go right to the wrist with mine because this Michael Kors was a top seller last night, and I have a feeling it might be another big seller tonight as well. 295808, 42 millimeters is the case size, and I say all the more reason to show off this exquisite mother of pearl dial and all of those absolutely incredible crystals. Notice the crystals framing the bezel and individual crystals for all of your hour markers, all 18 karat rose tone. I love the daily wear bracelet of the mirror polishing and the brushing. Easy on and off with a single fold deploying closure. Notice how it lays on my wrist. Yes, it's chunky at 42 millimeters, but these Michael Kors watches, which are meant to simulate what I call boyfriend watches or the boyfriend style, are supposed to be a bit oversized. But look at it on the wrist. This does not feel too big. It's not bulky. It's not heavy. It's not cartoonish. It's done right. Ladies, we know how expensive Michael Kors timepieces are. $225 in stores. Remember, you're paying for a name brand. Here, $110 is your price. Even better, use the payments. $18 and change gets it home. Every single item is on 6 interest-free, stress-free payments. 295808.
That's a good looking watch. Speaking of good-looking watches, would you want your boyfriend to hand you the other one or this one?
Oh, this one for sure.
Yeah, I like this watch a lot. Whenever Breitling comes on the show, I'm one of the first ones to just jump in there because I love Breitling timepieces. And they certainly have had their history with aviation, inspiration, and now with a nautical flair, you're going to really appreciate the 44mm Superocean heritage. Now, this watch is going to have the B23 movement inside. That movement is not just reliable and accurate with the 25 joules that are in there. Remember, joules are simply placed at stress and friction points within the watch because you can't use an internal lubricant in the watch. Well, you could, but it's a little messy. There's a handful of watches that will do it. Most watches are going to use a form of jewel, such as sapphire or ruby, at the stress points to allow where friction is going to be a problem. You put them in there, it takes up that friction, it makes the watch more accurate. Now, it's going to have counters at the 9 and 3 o'clock position for the chronograph, and the watch has 42 hours of power reserve. Now, there's your start, your stop, and of course your reset. Not only do you have that 3-hand configuration, but you also have a date complication at the 6 o'clock. Notice you have the hour, the minute, as well as a continuously running small seconds at the 9 o'clock. You have a totaler that's going to be for the chronograph, and you have this beautiful coin edge that allows you to easily adjust the bezel. Now, with that adjustable bezel, and it's a unidirectional bezel, and 200 meters of water resistance, you have the perfect dive watch. It also has a diver's clasp on there, and simply putting the bracelet on and then locking it in place means it's going to be secure on the wrist. Now, the watch is 44 millimeters in diameter and 16.2 millimeters thick. This watch is built like a vault. You're also going to appreciate that woven metal strap, that's stainless steel, and you'll notice that there are even links right here at the bottom so that once you adjust it, you can remove the additional weight of that which you don't need. I have a 6 3/4 inch wrist. The watch looks great on my wrist. If you have a much larger wrist, don't worry, they've given you a generous amount of bracelet. Now, we don't offer them, but you can contact Breitling to order additional links if you have a much, much larger wrist and you needed that. 282723 will get you the Breitling, not at $6,000, but $35.99 or only $600. That's your first of 6 stress-free, interest-free payments.
All right, we're going to take a transition now to one of our own brands, the 50mm Genesis Prime from Elini Barokas. We've got so many crazy and wild new Elini Barokas watches, and they're really fun because for those of you who maybe have been a fan of Elini Barokas for many years, or maybe you recently discovered Elini Barokas when it came underneath the umbrella of Swiss Watch International, they always have had these wild designs. I call them kind of like a European style, because these are the kind of watches that I always joke, these are not for wallflowers. These are not for people that want a watch that is merely to tell the time. These are watches when you want something that is going to make a statement. And what a statement this automatic makes. Now, as you can see, looking into your dial here, you've got a 2-tone going on. All of the hour markers are done in rose tone, and they've all been bolted down. Those are actual real bolts, bolted down onto the dial plate done in black, where you've got your little minute indicator. But the entire center portion of that dial, in fact about 80% of that dial, has all been completely cut away to reveal your PTS 2650 Chinese automatic movement inside. So when you look into your dial right there, you're able to see right there the balance wheel, all of the springs and gears that are working together, that when you wind the crown or when you just give it a few good shakes on your wrist, your watch starts running and stays running. Now here is another great shot of it where you can see how fully skeletonized the entire watch is. It's actually pretty amazing that they were able to take away so much of the dial and the movement to allow for the timepiece to show as much of that movement as well. Now look at the flash of blue that's showing that anti-reflective coating over your Sapphitech crystal. You've got this big 50mm case here, all done in 18-karat rose, and a nice soft touch silicone strap. It's even got embossing on it where it says Elini. Here's something new that we're doing with our new company-owned brands and some of the new collections coming out. We've actually got a customized push button dual deployment clasp. And here is how it might come to you when you take it out of the box. It might just be sort of fixed on the side. You're going to need to know how to put it together for yourself. So this is what you do. You've got this little, almost like a mandible jaw here for your clasp. And very easily, it just comes apart, just like that. Let me turn it so you can see right here. Those two pieces just open up just like that. You'll know the silicone strap right here slides right through that closure. And then because you've got that little notch on the bottom part of the clasp, you just line it up wherever you want on the strap that you think it's going to fit. Push it in place and you're done. I know I'm just kind of maybe beating a dead horse here, showing people how to use a closure like this, but the interesting thing is a lot of people are not used to using these, especially if you're only used to wearing silicone strap or rubber strap watches. The fact that we used a clasp typically reserved for a leather strap is a big deal, and it shows the direction that we're headed as a company with these timepieces. One of our viewers, Dan, I believe, recently picked up a new Elini Barokas watch. I retweeted his wrist shot of it because we not only have the Genesis and the new Admiral, I believe the name of the collection, the General, excuse me. We've got the new Genesis and General. We've got them in automatics, but we also have them in quartz. We even have them in chronograph. So we have something for everyone depending on what you're looking at. Here, $30 gets home an automatic. How easy is that? And I should not forget to mention, these are also 200-meter dive-capable watches. Dive watch with an automatic movement for $30 a month. That's $1 a day using the payments. 296-124.
Megan, you know, PTS Resources, which is the company that makes the Hong Kong-based movement that's inside that watch. You know, they've been doing that since 1988. They've even branched out to making some tourbillon movements. And it's a small company. They have anywhere from 25 to 50 employees coming and going in that industry there at their particular company. So this is not just, I don't want somebody to see a massive factory in China with, you know, 1 million people pumping out watch movements. These are well-made movements. Certainly you don't want to compare them to the highest end Swiss, but they are certainly reliable and accurate, and I think you're getting a great value by being able to use that.
I did not know that. That's very interesting.
Yeah, PTS has been around since 1988, and in fact, they do a really nice...
They do the movement in this watch as well, I know that.
Yeah, they've been around since 1988, and about 50 employees. And
cool.
they're an exporter and a manufacturer. Their largest markets are like Korea, North America, Taiwan, Western Europe. So we're delighted to be able to get those movements and to just be able to offer you know, a bit more watch for a little less money. And I think this is a great price on this. By the way, I think Elini Barokas, I think Miso and the team have really stepped up the quality of the cases, the material, and their selections of movements in the watches. So I feel very, very good about this watch and its construction. And again, you know, if I didn't feel good about it, I'm going to tell you that. Because I mean, both Megan and I think our reputation is such that we want to make sure that what we're presenting.
In college, don't worry about it.
And those photos are still online too. We've seen it on that last blog, didn't we, Megan? All right. Am I kidding here?
Work.
I keep it saved on my phone. But anyway, one of the things you'll notice on this watch, I realize you're going crazy as I'm catching light on here, but there's an anti-reflective coating, and if you hit this, I mean, it's hard to actually find the reflection. But if you catch it just right, you'll see that light blue or that coating that is on the crystal itself that really keeps the reflection down. There you get a little bit of it right there. As we start to hit it, just a little bit of blue starts to come through. Now this is a skeletonized movement, and that's part of, again, that PTS collection. And you're able to see all the way through to the beating heart of the watch and the substructure underneath. As you flip it over, you also see the exhibition back. You can see the custom rotor. But notice this design element of the oversized protector over the crown. I like that a lot. You have 316L stainless steel. Of course, it's an automatic movement. Sapphitech crystal, which we are going to tell you is as scratch resistant as sapphire.
That's right.
And when it comes to our Swiss Legend brand, it uses the exact same Sapphitech crystal. On Swiss Legend, there's a 10-year warranty. We don't do that on Elini because it's a special thing we do just for Swiss Legend. It's the same crystal, that has the 10-year warranty, but the warranty only comes with Swiss Legend. It's a perk for buying the Swiss Legend brand, but you are getting that same level of protection. In fact, as I take my my military grade pin here, I want to just run that over this Haftatech, and it's so smooth. Jenny's over there fretting. She is our.
She's like, I have to clean that watch, so just be careful.
But you're not going to have to try to buff out scratches. Well, maybe a little one. No, only kidding. No, it really does look great.
This looks good on you.
I think it does too. And you know, with what I'm wearing, again, even though this is a very contemporary design, there's just something about it that kind of looks maybe a little bit old-fashioned. Now, the only thing that I wish, if I had a watch like this, if I added it to my collection, if I had something to put it in. Megan, if you had a collection of watches, what would you put it in?
I'd put it in my 10-slot watch box. As we talked about on the show last night, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who tuned in, and I know, unfortunately, you weren't here, but I was reiterating the fact that the weekend before, we had a small allotment of watch boxes, and we sold out of them halfway through the Saturday night program. And I was reminding everyone at home that when they first came out about, 3 months ago, we were telling everybody, pick up the watch boxes. We have no idea when we'll get them back in again. We have a very small quantity still remaining from last night's show. This is something that, okay, you were talking about earlier, you were referencing an AcuSwiss Bulova, saying that it was the kind of watch that, you know, even if you're a collector or not, it's great for you to get. Sometimes it can be very daunting to get a watch collector a watch, right? I mean, my family and friends, they always think that, oh, I'd love a watch, but then how would they know what to get me because I'm around watches all the time? A watch box like this is something that every watch collector needs. And you know what? It really is true. If you've got more than 2 watches, you need a watch box.
That's a big watch. Now, my first fear would be this is a shallow box.
No.
It's going to hit the glass. Look at that.
What's nice about this is you could actually line up 10, 50+ millimeter watches here. None of them will hit the sides, they bang into each other, I should say, or the see-through acrylic top. Each one has its own individual felt pillow. The entire thing is lined on the inside with felt, as well as on the bottom, which is nice. It won't scratch up your furniture.
I love the stitching.
Red stitching with the padded black leather. To me, it reminds me of something that would be like on a high-end watch, like a watch strap. And one more final thing, we see if the key is still in here. It does come, because of the stainless steel hardware, check this out, with 2 keys. You get a key and a spare key, of course, so you can lock this for travel.
And also, if you have, I can't see what's inside. This is a see-through top. But it also is going to be great if you have children. It keeps little fingers out of there. There's a lot of collectors that if you do have any spare change and able to get a watch, you don't want the kids playing with them. This is a great way to keep things protected and safe inside of there. And it is great for traveling because that helps keep people honest.
279-418. Here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen. This is a must-buy for tonight. If you're ordering anything else, just add it onto your order for an additional $8.33. It's kind of ridiculous, right? With the stress-free payments, $8.33 for the watch box to get it home.
You know, I was killing time a couple of weeks ago here in town in Miami, was at one of the malls, and they had a great watch kiosk. However, everything at the kiosk was retail. They had watch boxes similar to this. They were over $100. And I just thought, my goodness, I just wanted to tell everybody, you know, for $49, you can get the exact same watch box.
And it's such a nice box, too. And honestly, everyone out there, I was making a joke about this last night to everybody watching. I was saying, you know, if you're watching a show called World of Watches, you love watches. You need a place to put them. I always like to keep the special boxes, like your Breitling hot pick. It comes in a beautiful package.
Oh, yeah.
Who doesn't love some, especially like Graham makes amazing packaging. Some watch collections make amazing packaging. But it's not always, it doesn't make sense all the time to keep your watches in them. And then, like, if you have a lot of watches, it's hard to keep them all in the closet. Having something like that, the 10-slot watch box, it's compact, it's easy, but it's not ugly. I mean, it looks nice on the dresser, too.
Speaking of Graham, one of our friends out there, John. Hi, John. He bought one of the Graham Chrono Fighters. It was the new one that we kept telling everyone had the beautiful 5 diamonds on it. He sent me a message and he said, you realize there's a 6th diamond hiding on the pusher. So congratulations for getting that watch and getting an extra diamond. We should have caught that.
Yeah, I love when our viewers catch us on things like that, or when you guys are able to teach us different things too, because it's all about learning, right? And that's just kind of a nice thing to be able to connect with you guys. You can tweet us at WowTVChat if you've got something to say too.
And you know, if you like Megan's dress,
No, okay, we're good.
I love the dress.
I'm very popular tonight, thank you.
You are. I mean, hotter than that fire. Oh, speaking of which,
Let's get to a watch. Let's get a little serious now, people. Come on.
I was
now.
serious. I don't know if you know it, but I was serious when I said that. She's blushing. She is as red as the dress.
now.
Oh, if they could have just seen the pre-show, those few minutes of getting that microphone on.
Yes.
Good heavens.
I know, I'm telling HR on you.
I don't work here. I'm independently contracted. HR? Where's HR? HR puffing stuff, maybe.
226296. I'm giving him the eye. Like
She is. She's like, you better start selling watches because she does work here. The 40mm Kirkwood. I love this watch. This is one of the watches that when my son came in for Bring Your Kid to Work Day, which we don't really have that, I just brought him to work. He saw this, here he is, 17 years old at the time, saw this watch sitting inside of, you know, the watch vault trays, and he just picked it out and said, Dad, look at this watch. Now this is the version that has just the open heart configuration. There's another version of this watch that's completely skeletonized on the dial. I like this version because you get that sunburst effect on the dial. You have the exaggerated or exploded 3, 6, and 9, but at the 12 o'clock position, you happen to have an open heart configuration with the Acutron logo. This is an all Swiss made watch, and at 40mm, it is just the right size for a gentleman or a lady. Now, I'm going to put this on. Now, do you have the other version of this? Or is that a different watch?
This is a different type.
Oh, then you'll have to try this on. I'm going to show you this on my wrist. I have a 6 3/4 inch wrist. It looks great. But you want to talk about a boyfriend watch, or the moment it goes on Megan's wrist, this just gets a whole lot prettier.
It's a great size. You know, it's nice because it's that classic 40mm that a lot of gentlemen out there still wear and still love to wear. And also, as you said, with the boyfriend style, it's also something that we're seeing in trends with ladies' wristwatches getting larger. Last night I wore a 39.5mm on the show, and it's so comfortable. This is a classic timepiece, no matter how you slice it. One of my favorite features about this watch, which I'll point out when I have it on my wrist, is the way the hour markers are done. Each one is almost individually beveled, and they're done with a high jeweler's polish. So watch when we get a closer shot of it, you'll be able to see, because we've had this watch we also have it available in a rose tone with a brown leather strap.
Oh, that's right.
And
yes, we do.
it's got that dark chocolate brown dial, and you can see that sparkle. The same thing happens when you look at it in the silver tone. Look at how the hour markers, see how they're slightly beveled, and then they're polished, that when the light hits it, you get this beautiful sparkle effect. I just love that. I love when a watch is not all mirror polished, because then sometimes it feels, you know, too dressy, too flashy. But then other times when it's all brushed, I think it's a bit too pared down. Here, it's a bit of both on the bracelet, but when you look in the dial, look at the hour markers. Look at how beautiful they sparkle under the light like that. And then the bezel, being mirror polished, matches that just as well. Perfect fit, even on my 6-inch wrist. And check out how generous the bracelet is. Very, very generous bracelet, can fit nearly a 9-inch wrist at its maximum. Sapphire crystal, Swiss-made watch, Swiss-made automatic movement inside for $380. 6 payments of $63.33. We'll get it home. 226-296 Acutron Bulova. Moving on to a watch that we have very limited quantity of, the 44mm Domineer. A watch that was a bestseller on the show yesterday, and a watch that has been a bestseller consistently when we're able to get enough in stock to air them on the shows.
We need a bestseller sticker. We need a logo up there that just pops up, that, you know, with little sparkles and balloons or something that just draws attention, because you may not realize it. If you're just, you know, if you have us in picture on your TV, or maybe you have the sound turned down because we're too loud.
I know I am.
Can't help it, Megan. But if you're not careful, you can let a great watch slip by. And I think we had a sticker up there that lets folks know, you know what? A lot of folks have bought this and they love it.
Now, the one thing I want to mention is we're only going to be able to spend a minute on this watch because we only have 4 remaining.
Really?
Can you believe that? That's how quickly
Well, yeah,
these
that's
watches,
because, you know,
that's how quickly these sell. Because it's a beautiful automatic that has a similar design to all the Swiss mades we've been looking at for hundreds of dollars, and yet this one's only $99.99.
This is a Japanese movement in here, isn't that
Yep,
correct?
Japanese movement, 21 jewel automatic. Look at all the hand detail and decoration done to the movement, all done by hand.
That's beautiful. And I love the fact that, you know, for $99.99, I mean, that's not your first payment. That's it. The payment on the watch is $16.66. I paid more than that to go to see Star Wars the other night. Are you kidding me?
I was just saying the same thing about the movies the other night. Here, every single thing is done in 18 karat rose tone over 316L stainless steel. Classic good looks here. Look at this with the
Why,
step.
thank you.
Look at this with the step down bezel design.
watch, yeah.
I love that, and it's multiple rings of it all the way down. Notice how it has that nice dimension. Almost looks like sun rings or something. I don't know. I like that.
I think they've pulled from almost an Art Deco design. Like if this was the clock that was inside of an Art Deco building, you know, back in the day, you look like if you're driving a Duesenberg and you're pulling up to the soiree. This is the watch to wear. Yeah, you got plethora. I got soiree out. I also love the high mirror polish that's on the watch. You notice just a little touch of satin finish on the center links there. Good looking watch. Folks, we think this is a great price. We hope you do too. Only $16.66 gets it home. 205417 will get you the Lucian Piccard 44 millimeter.
Another Lucian Piccard, the 44 millimeter Optima, another beautiful automatic. This one, a newer design. This one in black we had on the show last night, and it was a very, very popular seller. I want to get it nice and tight on the dial here because I love that the way they've skeletonized the dial is by showing off almost a faint crescent moon. And when you look at it, you'll see that there's so much more than just that crescent moon cutaway. Because notice that they've cut away a portion of that center dial, and they've left just that little lower quarter right there where you can see the LP Lucian Piccard. Your crescent moon allows you to see your balance wheel, your escapement. You've got another barrel down there. But notice right here, your balance wheel, your escapement, that, your heartbeat of your watch. Notice how they have bolted down over that a perlage decorated bridge with the two beautiful sapphires there. This is exquisite. The open heart with bridge complication, and then certain aspects of the movement, which you can see right in here, which were cut away on the dial where you don't see anything. You just see straight through your timepiece. 44 millimeter, done in a beautiful light silvery white textured dial. You've got one of those great new customized clasps on there. Again, all of our new company-owned brands, we are getting away from the buckle closures, and we're going to these beautiful either push button or pull apart, single fold or dual deployment. Here's a single fold. Now this has one of those gorgeous croco embossed genuine leather straps done in a dark brown. It's going to take a few wears for it to break into your wrist. Just a couple of times you wear this all day to the office or going about your business. It will mold to your skin and feel like it was custom tailored for you. Another PTS Chinese 21 jewel automatic movement inside. 5-year warranty from Lucian Piccard on that movement. 18 karat rose. I love that we've got such vintage designs tonight. This is all about the classic look. Lucian Piccard is a company that has been around for over 90 years. So here with our parent company, we have taken over the brand about 10 years ago, and we are bringing out the same quality, the same heritage you would have found 90 years ago, except we're able to do the modern day conveniences, as we like to say, with the new high-end movements, the warranties, the 18 karat rose tone, the leather, and yet the price, $23 a month. $23 down for a timepiece that you can wear with your finest suit. And yet it's not something that you see with like costume jewelry or clothing. You know, there's a lot of stores these days, and I know they're very popular, especially with women's clothing, where you can go and you can buy looks that are inspired by runway looks, but
yes,
they're very, very affordable, right? And what happens is then, and I'm guilty of this, I buy that stuff and I'm like, oh great, wow, how nice, a blouse for $16. But then you wash it one time or two times and the entire thing falls apart. This, you're paying almost that discounted price, and yet you never ever worry about, is this going to fall apart in a minute?
Well,
all right, the item number here is 283087. Now, Coming up next, this is a timepiece that we have very, very limited quantity on, and I hope our viewer Bill out there is paying attention, because I know he was really thinking about the 42 millimeter pulsometer 1942 last night. Item number 290322. We have very limited quantity of this timepiece available. In fact, I'm going to check right now and see how many we have to go around tonight, because this was one of the top sellers of last night's show.
That amazes me. You know, folks, the Eterna, incredible watch company. Eterna has been around since 1856. And what you're seeing is a limited edition piece that was originally released in 1942. Now, it was a much smaller version in 1942. In fact, it was a 34 millimeter back then. And now, as an homage to what I call the doctor's watch, the pulsometer, which was perfect for a doctor to take someone's pulse, has been re-released with only 1,942 pieces. I'm going to expect that this is going to be in limited quantities because there's not many for the planet anyway.
We are down to single-digit quantities of this timepiece. Single digits.
This is a Swiss-made watch. Of course, it's a Swiss movement inside. It's automatic. It was the height of technology back in the day to be able to have this, the pulsometer-style movement inside. Now, the power reserve on this watch is 42 hours. And you're going to appreciate the fact that a company, of course, that gave us the ETA movement has now created this beautiful homage to its 1942 heritage piece. It's a custom-made strap made of alligator. Of course, that's not a croco embossed strap. That's actually alligator. So if you're seeing any of these little marks on here, the alligator made that. We didn't. Sapphire crystal. It's a 37 joule movement. Now, what's great about this is you'll notice it's a 3-hand configuration, the hour, the minute, and what you have is at the 3 o'clock position a continuously running small seconds. You happen to have something that's become quite common in the world today, and that's being able to have a locked into place sweep hand. Now, back in 1942, that was not the way it was, but look how smooth that is. And notice that your small seconds continues running, and you also have a totaler at the 9 o'clock position. There's your start, your stop, and of course your reset. This is a gorgeous watch. We love it. It has a dual push button, single scissor deployant. This is going to help protect that alligator strap. Once you feed that alligator strap through the deployant, it's going to allow it to close and snap into place to take the stress off the strap. This was a bestseller. We only have a handful of these left, and if you can afford to do it, here's a $5,000 watch. This is one that I considered when I was looking for a really nice watch.
Yeah, this is a gorgeous watch.
Because now, of course, it's even less money now than I was looking at it. It's $999.99. So whatever allotment we've got in, I assure you our profit margin, if it's even that high, is just barely over this mark. $166.66. That's your first of 6 stress-free interest-free payments. Look how that 42 millimeter case looks on my 6 3/4 inch wrist. It's all Swiss-made sapphire crystal. Again, an absolutely beautiful timepiece for a fraction of what it should normally go for. 290322. Now, the next watch coming up is also a limited edition piece. Only, get this, only 200 of these for the entire world. I asked Niso about it. I said, okay, what's the deal? You spent all this time designing the watch, getting the inspiration, making it, and then you only make 200 of them and you break the mold? I said, well, we did do it in rose gold too. Well, that's still only 400 for the planet. The watch has 200 parts on the inside. Now, when you look at it, you're going to notice the first thing that stands out, and by the way, I own this watch. I love this watch. Is for only $299, you have that beautiful dual open heart configuration, 2 barrels. Niso, the designer of the watch, said, it was like a bull and a matador standing face to face. Consider the hands of the watch like the matador's swords. And of course, you have the 2 hands that are going to be telling the time. You have a third hand right there, which is going to be for your GMT. There's a secondary time built into the watch. And this right here is the power reserve indicator. Simply by rotating at the crown, you're going to notice the power reserve indicator begin to move. That's the gas gauge. That's telling you how much power is within the watch.
I think that's such a great feature to have because it can be very frustrating because sometimes you have no idea, especially if you're wearing the watch when, I mean, unless you're keeping track of it, right? Oh, I set it, 6 hours ago. You really don't know sometimes how long you're going to have that full wind for. So rather than walk around, you're like moving your wrist, constantly winding your crown. I love that you're able to see it, just like you would with a gas gauge or the battery on your smartphone. It's nice to be able to see what you're dealing with.
But this is a bold size on the watch. Notice the watch is really thick. But remember, it's designed to be. It's designed to have quite a presence on the wrist. It is one of my most complimented watches that I wear. Now, whether I'm wearing a high-end collectible or I'm wearing a very pedestrian watch, you never know what's going to capture people's attention. Now, when I wear this is when I want to have that very, very high-end expensive look without having to put out, thousands of dollars. So this is a watch that I wear when I'm kind of dressed as I am tonight. I mean, you could wear it super dressy, but because of the thickness of the case, it's not going to fit under every shirt. Now, most of the ones that I wear have just enough space under the cuff that you can wear it. Now, Megan, the question was asked, what occasions might someone wear a watch like this? I think those dressy occasions, those one that you want to be fun, and you want to stand out, because this is a watch that folks are going to ask to see it. It's going to be a conversation starter, and they're going to think you spent a whole lot more money than you did. Now, the $1,000 price point is accurate on that. $499 is a steal. $299 is a great bargain. Where would you wear this?
Where would I wear this?
No, where would you see a gentleman? You think of your boyfriend.
Oh, every day for the office, but even on the weekends, if you wanted to wear just a nice pair of jeans and a button-down shirt, I think it does have some versatility there. It's not a full black tie, you have to wear it with a suit watch, and I think that's because the decoration and the detail work inside the dial sort of belies this kind of fun, different hobby there. This is obviously, when you see a watch like this on a gentleman, you know that they're the kind of person that either one, appreciates horology or is into fashion, right? Because it doesn't look like everything else. So I think this is one of those great watches that a man really of any age or profession could enjoy.
Do you know what steampunk is?
Yes, I do.
I knew you would, but I wanted to ask just in case. But this also has that kind of steampunk look to it, because that was everything. If everything was mechanical and run by steam and
very industrial.
machine, very industrial. This has that look to it, and you know when you see this watch that it is all gears and levers and springs. It's a great looking watch. So I own this watch. I love it. I think you're going to really, really love it too.
You were thinking of getting the rose tone for someone special in your life,
My
right?
son, I want to get the rose tone. I sent an email. I didn't get a response. I want to get the watch. I wonder if they'll let me. I wonder if I can go to the vault and get one.
Yeah, just put it in your pocket.
Are you kidding? Have you seen security around? Hello.
All right, we're a little bit over the halfway point of our time together. It's time to do the top 10. We're not doing a top 10?
What? Oh.
Oh, instead of that,
Special mention.
We're going to do a few mentions. You know what our control room has decided to do? Rather than take up the time of doing the top 10, we want to get out as many items as we can as possible in this hour of automatics and mechanicals. So what we're going to do is we're going to mention very quickly a few items right now, and then we'll get back to our regularly televised hour.
Am I wearing a variation? Nope, I'm wearing a different one.
This is the Sultan, automatic.
Oh, this looks good in blue too, by the way. Lucian Piccard. You know, I really think we're doing a good job restoring Lucian Piccard. It's only in the last few years that Swiss Watch International has taken over the mantle of Lucian Piccard. And I saw a message the other day that someone had posted that they really liked Lucian Piccard back in the day. And they showed a beautiful ceramic watch, and it just had a lot of style and taste to it and quality. And I think we're restoring that, because I don't want to speak ill of anybody else that had the opportunity to run Lucian Piccard. But I think with the design elements, the elevation. Now this does, again, it has the Chinese SK2696 movement inside. This is a multifunction. We're trying to get that look, restoring the quality, and let people really be able to see these watches on their wrist at affordable prices. And I hope we're restoring some of that, that gravitas to the brand. And if you think differently, let us know. If you have suggestions of what you would like to see with Lucian Piccard, we want to know. But this 45mm Sultan is a great multifunction. You can see the day complication, the date. It has the 24-hour indicator, 3-hand configuration, stylized hand with a touch of lume. You're going to love this watch, and only $139.99. That's a pretty good value right there.
All right, another Lucian Piccard. Is this the one that you've got on your wrist right now, the Ottoman?
I think that is the Ottoman.
Yes, it is. I love that animated AM/PM indicator at the 12 o'clock position. Here, this has a beautiful 18-karat rose gold tone case with a black textured dial. Inside your automatic movement, you've got the open heart with bridge complication at the 6 o'clock position. Notice how that's all beautifully perlage decorated. You've got a Chinese automatic movement inside. You've got your date complication on there. Again, I cannot take my eyes off that gorgeous animated AM/PM indicator at the 12 o'clock position. I know it looks like a moon phase, but it's actually your calendar 24-hour clock. $150. How does that feel? You've been wearing it all night.
Incredibly comfortable, and one of the things I really like is usually it takes a much more expensive watch to have that genuine bridge that locks down the balance wheel. And here at the 6 o'clock position, I think that just looks great. Now, I like the variation that I'm wearing better.
Yeah, you're wearing one with a silver tone dial and a brown leather strap. That's beautiful, too. The one on the screen, though, black and rose, my favorite color combo. $25 gets this watch home. $294,563. Yes, you can afford to get somebody a watch at these prices that they will appreciate, even if they are some of the snarkiest of watch lovers and collectors.
And we know those people.
We are those people.
We are those people.
287-756, the 44mm San Marco. Here's another beautiful automatic. This one done with the black dial, but the texturing on this dial is almost done in the Geneva waves, or the Côte de Genève.
I bought this one too.
Oh, you got this one?
Yeah, in blue.
This has that beautiful, really decorated bridge
Oh,
at the 6 o'clock
gorgeous
position.
watch. And at this price, which I think is actually a little less than what I paid, it is phenomenal, and it's a compliment getter. It's just like the Matador, when the fact that it really does. What was the question? So the magic voices. I got it in blue and silver. That's a good-looking watch. But this is one of those watches. It's a conversation starter. I mean, people look at it and go, "Oh my gosh, where did you get that? How much did that cost?" And of course, I love the fact that we're making the style of Lucian Piccard affordable. And I hope, and this is just me, I hope we go to some high-end movements inside Lucian Piccard. I mean, I love the movements that are in there because it's made the watches affordable, but I would love to see us go to, even more dramatic. Okay, folks, we have a lot of beautiful watches that we've been able to present you, and Megan has I'm going to just say, we're taking things up a step. Now, if you don't have 10 grand for a solid gold watch with an entire cachet of diamonds, but Megan has probably one of the most beautiful Maurice Lacroix, and boy, I wish they made the diamond one for gentlemen.
I always love these watches. Now, these, of course, the Les Classiques collection. What you are looking at is a hand-built, Swiss-made, solid 18-karat gold timepiece. I want to say that again. This is a solid gold watch. Solid gold case and bezel, solid gold buckle and crown. Every inch of this is done in absolute perfection. We're going to come in nice and close on the case back so you can see through that sapphire crystal at your ML132 20 jewel automatic movement. That is a base ETA automatic movement that Maurice Lacroix modifies in-house and presents to the world in this solid gold case. Look at the diamonds on this timepiece. You have a solid gold and diamond timepiece in a classic 28mm case. Beautiful rhodium plated dial. Look at the rose gold hour markers. Everything about this is absolutely exquisite. And then the alligator strap. You know, it's amazing because we always have very limited quantity of timepieces like this, and many of you, of course, watch this show and you think, all right, well, $2,200, I can't afford that. But what about the person out there that can afford a $400 watch? maybe you can spend between $300 and $400 a month on your hobby, watch collecting. How about now you can afford a $2,200 price if you use the interest-free payments at $367 a month. But then look at the list price, because the $2,200 watch is actually an $11,000 watch. You could buy 5 of them nearly with us and reach the list price of $11,000. That is an amazing thing to be able to do. 29 millimeter case, so very, very classic.
You know, they sell 90,000 watches a year.
Maurice Lacroix?
Yeah, and people are asking, how can you sell a $10,000 watch for $2,199? Because of the surge, that we're seeing in the Swiss franc and a slump in demand from Asia. Because when you're selling 90,000 watches, where do they all go? Not all to the United States.
Of course not.
There were tons of Maurice Lacroix that were scheduled to go into Asia. As they are looking at even other brands, there is actually right now a kind of a glut, if you will, of Maurice Lacroix watches that are out there, and us being able to snag them, because let's face it, 18 karat gold, gold is starting to go up in price a little bit. So this is one of those opportunities for you. There's nothing wrong with these watches. There's nothing wrong with Maurice Lacroix.
No.
This is a great time. If Maurice Lacroix, if the holding company wanted to sell that company, it's a great time for a big brand. Maybe we should buy Maurice Lacroix. You and I, that'd be kind of funny. But it's one of those.
I wouldn't know what to do.
Yes, you would. It just means that right now, just the way the economy is in Europe, you're able to get these watches at an unprecedented. Some of the articles I was reading was saying that some of the Maurice Lacroix were going for up to 66% off. Here you're at 80% off. That's
solid gold and diamonds.
And those are first quality. One of the things that we love to do is we'll take out a loop and look at the diamonds here on the air, and we'll tell you what we think. Because you can tell, at least, you can't always tell color. I think I can gauge that pretty well. The cut is obvious by looking at the stone. The clarity is obvious under the loop, and the carat weight is listed by the manufacturer. Well, we can make comment on that. I can tell you right now, these are first quality. They're probably H in color, and they are VSI in clarity. That means very slightly included, which means under a loop you might be able to see an imperfection, but certainly not with the naked eye. Gorgeous, gorgeous timepiece, and unbelievable. This looks incredible on your wrist. What do you think?
260-241. Here's the thing. Even after midnight tonight, because that's when the prices are going up, you're still saving about $3,400 off the list price. But right now, as Wiley said, you're saving 80% of the list price here. $2,200 for a solid gold and diamond timepiece.
Even the buckle.
Even the buckle, even the crown. It's all solid gold. Rhodium plated dial, beautiful diamonds. 260-241. Now, per a Twitter request from one of our viewers, Bill, who he and I were chatting on Twitter last night when we were airing the pulsometer, we're going to air this one more time very quickly for him to take a look at item number 290322.
What? No, this watch, the pulsometer, 1942. Megan, do you have that watch? Would you hand that to me if you have? I'm sorry, she's typing away, probably talking to Bill.
We're getting it right now.
Right there? Aha, there it is. Thank you so much. All right, I'm going to set the time on this real quick so that you can see it hopefully in its ideal condition. All right. We're going to see over this way. Swing back over on camera 3. I'm holding it. Megan's going to hold it super close so we can see into that beautiful, beautiful dial. Bill, if you're watching, this is all Swiss made. The movement, of course, is an automatic movement. This was the height of technology for its day. And the power reserve indicator on this is for 42 hours. Now, this is a 42 millimeter case versus the 1942 version, which was a 34 millimeter. Now, it's limited to only 1,942 pieces. And, of course, this is coming from Eterna, which is the company that birthed the ETA movement. That is a genuine custom alligator strap on there. It is a 37 jewel automatic. And, of course, that's sapphire crystal protecting that very stylized dial. Now, folks, realize that back in the day, you didn't always have the 3-hand configuration with the additional locked into place sweep hand at the 12 o'clock. This was unusual, and it was the height of technology to be able to have 2 additional subdials. One of them a small seconds at the 3 o'clock, and then your totaler at the 9 o'clock. Megan has hit the pusher at the 2 o'clock, which has started our pulsometer. And you can also see the tachymeter style outer chapter ring that allows you to take those accurate measurements. Now, if she hits that pusher at 2 o'clock again, a firm push, it stops it and then reset at the 4.
Look how quickly it snaps back.
Love that watch.
You've got to try it on one more time, Wiley, because it looks so good.
I would be delighted.
290-322.
This is what I'm going to call casual luxury. Because it's not screaming out, hey, I'm a $5,000 watch. It's one that the owner of the watch knows what he's wearing. You're also knowing that you have saved $4,000. I mean, do you get that? That is incredible. That's, again, another 80% off the retail price. $166.66 gets the watch home. That's your first of 6 stress-free, interest-free payments. We happen to like the pulsometer, and we think you will too. It's been one of our best sellers, and we think it's going to really sell out tonight. Bill, if this is the right watch, feel free to purchase, because remember, you have a money-back guarantee all the way to January 31st.
How crazy that the price goes from $1,000 to $3,500 in just a few hours.
But you know what? Somewhere in the world, because remember, World of Watches. Were you here last time where I read off all the places that people were watching us?
Yes, I was here.
And you're making a comment that I wasn't last time. I'm sorry, but there are people all around the world, and when somebody sees this on the website, they'll snatch it up. Okay.
290-322, single-digit quantities.
The next watch we're going to show you happens to have the ML037 automatic movement. That's a 25 joule automatic. Now again, when you look at this watch from the Les Classiques collection, you realize you have something special. Now I love the fact that they could have done this at a high mirror polish, but instead it's a satin finish for this all 18 karat gold watch. I want you to take a peek right there. And when you're seeing the watch, I'm kind of amazed because of the weight of the case that they're offering this watch for $34.99. This is absolutely beautiful. Notice the satin finish all the way around the outer part of the bezel. But then there are just places on the watch, like at the lugs, that you're seeing the high mirror polish. That's genuine 18 karat gold. This is not gold tone. This is solid 18 karat gold. And look at that dial. This is a 4-hand configuration. You have the hour at the minute, a continuously operating sweep hand. Then, right here, you have a date complication as a hand, a day and month complication, and an AM/PM moon phase indicator right at the 6 o'clock position. All of this in stunning 18 karat gold. Let's take a look at the ML037 movement that's inside.
I love that little stamp right there.
What, the 750?
18 karat.
18 karat gold. Notice the Côte de Genève, the custom designed rotor that has the Geneva waves built into it. You'll also notice as you look, by the way, that's what these little lines are right here. If you ever hear Megan and I talk about Côte de Genève or you're reading about it, if you're kind of new to orology, then you're going to need to know that those are the watchmaker's decoration of little lines or waves. Also notice you have the pearlage, which means pearl-like. There's your beating heart right there. But let me slip the watch on so you can see how it looks on the wrist. Oh, that's a comfortable strap on this watch.
How large is your Maurice Lacroix solid gold? Is it a 40 millimeter as well?
I think it is a 41 millimeter. It's not quite a 42. It's a little bit large. It may be a 42, but that's also from the Masterpiece collection. And I'm going to think it's maybe just about this size, maybe just a touch larger. But look at that on the wrist. I mean, is that not just perfect with what I'm wearing? Let me get it. It is classic. This does not scream, hey, I'm wearing a $13,000 watch. Now, that's also for your safety, because it allows you to wear this watch as a daily watch if you so chose. And you know if you scuff it up, you happen to have gold, so it's easy to polish back. You have sapphire crystal. It's all Swiss made. I don't have to worry that even though this is a luxury watch, I'm not going to scratch that. And if I do happen to scratch the gold, which I'm not going to, then you have the ability to polish that out because that's gold all the way through, solid all the way to the inner part of the case. $3,499, that is a bargain. But if you don't want to put out that $34.99, how about $583.33? That's your first of 6 stress-free interest-free payments. 186131 will get you the Maurice Lacroix 44mm Le Classique in solid 18-karat gold. Can I tell you that even though I just bought a watch, I want this watch?
You do?
I really want this watch. I think it's just beautiful.
Let's present one more Maurice Lacroix for our hour here. 286511. The 40mm from the Masterpiece collection. The Masterpiece is one of their highest end collections, and that's saying something from a company that is a high-end Swiss-made brand.
And if you want something from the highest end collection that Maurice Lacroix offers, then this in stainless steel becomes the best way to do it. Now, some of their pieces are going to be limited in their number. This is going to be unlimited in its run, which means they will build them until... Now, this is the ML 129 automatic movement, which is a 25 joule automatic. Take a peek. And I love the buckle on this. This is a 3-hand configuration, the hour, the minute, a continuously operating sweep hand. You have a secondary, I think that's a secondary time, so I've got to go a little closer right
yes,
there.
Yes, it is.
Yes, you have a secondary time zone right there at the 6 o'clock position, as well as a dual date wheel large date complication. Remember, all of these functions are being run by the gears and levers within this watch. Now you can look into the beating watch and look at this beautiful gold-plated custom rotor. Cote de Genève, pearlage behind. It looks really, really good. All Swiss made, of course. Sapphire crystal both front and back. Do you like this watch?
I do very much. I love the texturing and the guilloche dial there. And it's a two time zone timepiece. So you don't really see that as often. And I like that because sometimes it can be a little bit cluttered and messy, especially in a case size so petite like this. But this is a really sleek, well done design because it almost makes it seem like that secondary time zone is maybe like the 60 seconds.
Well, and you say petite, but I have to tell you, the watch wears a little larger than a 40mm because the bezel, when they come in even closer, looks, so small. It's slimline. You see so much dial. The watch wears like it's a little larger than a 40. Maybe like a 41, maybe a 42, but it's not oversized. Because even when we come back to the long shot of the watch, I mean, when I'm wearing it, you don't go, oh, that's a tiny watch for a guy's wrist.
No.
I think it looks good. 286511 will get you the Maurice Lacroix 40mm Masterpiece. We like it a lot.
All right, let's do a quick mention of the Swiss legend Abysos 274856. Here you've got a 26 joule STP 1-11 automatic movement. This watch will wear like a 48mm, and it is a true dive instrument, being that you have 1,000 meters of water resistance. Interestingly enough, the human body is not capable as going as deep as this timepiece is. It comes in a 3-slot watertight watch box. That will be your packaging. Your Swiss-made watch with the Swiss-made automatic comes with a 5-year warranty on the movement, a 10-year warranty on the Sapphire crystal, $46 and change. We ship it 274856. All right, here we are, third and final hour.
Hard to believe. If you're just now joining us, we're broadcasting live here at Swiss Watch International at World of Watches. This is the best 3 hours in watch television, and we've already had 2 hours of incredible values from our AcuSwiss collection that we've been able to show you from Bulova, as well as some great automatics in our second hour. And now in our third hour, Megan, what will they see?
You know what's funny? I was just thinking about, I feel like maybe this entire night so far, we've had 2 or 3 Quartz watches the entire time.
This is a great opportunity to get a high-end automatic or mechanical watch at a price that you'd normally pay for a Quartz movement. And don't worry, if you get it home, you have all the way to January 31st. That's well past the holiday. If you go, I don't want this automatic watch, they didn't like that one, send it back. We're going to pay for shipping.
So here's what we're doing about the shipping. Free shipping all year round. You guys know that. But here's the thing. If you are ordering holiday gifts right now and you want to make sure your orders get there in time for Christmas, select 2-day shipping. It's an additional $9.99, but it's per order. It's not per item. So whether you order 1 watch or 10 watches, 2-day shipping will run you $9.99. This will guarantee you have your items in time for Christmas. If you're just shopping for yourself or you're not worried about December 25th, then select free shipping and you'll get it relatively soon as well. But the 2-day shipping we can guarantee with the $10 price. Keep tweeting us. Tonight has been an amazing night on Twitter. We've got some incredible tweets. I want you to read one from somebody named Skeeter when we go to the preview. He sent you a very, very nice compliment. Twitter is a great way for you guys to connect with Wiley and I, and also while you're watching the show, as you saw a few moments ago when we were able to stop and go back to a watch that we aired because one of our viewers wanted to see it again. It's just a great way to be able to connect with you guys.
We are live.
And we want to be able to help you. So if you're seeing a watch and you want to know more about it, or you want one of us to try it on the wrist and the other hasn't, or what have you, that's what we are here to do. We are here to help you make your purchasing decisions a little bit easier and a little bit more fun. This hour we are calling last minute holiday gifts. Very, very affordable. Every single item is on 6 payments. Let's kick off our preview with one of the best sellers, no surprise.
A dance floor for your hamster.
I love that.
we happened to, yeah. The booth took a little while where they laughed. All right, this is a 10-slot watch box. We've had these at, I wouldn't say the beginning of the year, but the first quarter of the year. And when these came in, by the second quarter, we were like, oh, those are going fast. Third quarter, they were gone. Here we are at the end of the year with just a few 10-slot watch boxes. It's all in leather. The stitching around there, the red stitching, is going to be a great homage to the stitching you might find on a strap. This watch box is also customized with our logo across the top. And for only $8.33, you can throw that on your order. And again, that's your first of 6 stress-free, interest-free payments. So if you need a couple of these or you want to get them as gifts, this is a great way to get, a $100, $200 watch box for a fraction of the cost. And of course, if you can examine it all the way to January 31st to check the quality. If it's not everything we're saying, you send it back. You always shop with confidence with us.
Coming up right after that, a very special Invicta 257052, the 53mm Bolt. This is a Swiss-made Invicta. Very, very limited quantity. Remember, World of Watches is the largest authorized retailer of Invicta in the world. Not only do we have the best selection, we offer the guaranteed best lowest prices. And here, we are rarely able to ever have the Swiss-made Invictas out on the show. Here we've got Swiss-made Invicta with a Swiss-made Ronda quartz chronograph movement. That's the 5030D. You've got a massive 53mm case done in 18-karat rose tone. Lots of water resistance, customized polyurethane strap on there. 257052. $280 for a near $4,000 Swiss-made Invicta. 70593, the 45mm tungsten. Last night, one of the best sellers was the Swiss Legend tungsten with the red dial. I think this one is a dressier, more classic look. At $190, you are getting a watch that is so resilient, so durable, so tough, and yet is one of the best looking, most unique designs, gentlemen, that you can wear dressed up or dressed down. 70595, $31 and change gets it on home.
I own that watch. That is a nice watch right there.
That was like one of the first watches you bought.
I want to thank Skeeter for sending us a wonderful compliment. Thank you so much. Find me on Facebook. I would love to chat with you some more. And you know who else is tuned in? We've got a lot of folks. I just joined a watch forum called Watch Lords. Now, you want to talk about aficionados.
Yes.
They will, I mean, these guys and ladies, they know their stuff.
They do.
And I appreciated them allowing me to jump in amongst the foray. It's a great place to chat about watches. And I've told them, I said, I want those folks to, if you see something that we're doing wrong or you like or don't like, you let us know. Because
I'm sure
we want to be, like, yeah, absolutely. These guys and ladies are painfully honest.
295808, something that's not painful, is the 42mm Michael Kors. This watch is beautiful. You've got that gorgeous black mother of pearl dial. This is one of the top sellers last night. Crystals around every single hour marker and crystals in 2 rings around the bezel. And then the outer edge of the bezel is done in a beautiful coin edge. All 18-karat rose tone over stainless steel. The boyfriend style, an elegant design. Michael Kors is an easy bet, ladies and gentlemen out there. If you're looking to get a watch for a lady in your life, maybe somebody who wants that high fashion, all-American look, Here, nice quartz movement inside. It is a Japanese movement. You got 50 meters of water resistance. And how easy is the price? $18 and change gets it home. $295,808.
Oh, and if you
Speaking
want to
of
talk
pretty.
about, yeah, this is a nice watch. Folks, we love Breitling. And I can tell you that I have, on more than one occasion, stepped into the Breitling store, and there's things I see in there I just want. I love the style. I love what they've done with these watches. And here, to be able to get a Breitling that normally costs $6,200, you know, for just a fraction of that, this is $35.99. These are all new. They're in the box with warranty. You know, sometimes whether we're getting them from Breitling or we're getting them from a secondary resellers, or maybe there's a store that's gone out of business somewhere and we're able to get their inventory, it is a great way for us to pass those savings on to you. The B23 movements inside of that, 42 minimum hours of power reserve. You have a 16.2 millimeter thick case. It's a 25 jewel automatic, sapphire crystal, and counters, of course, at the 9 and 3 o'clock position. Unirotating bezel, which means it's going to be great if you're going to be diving because it has 200 meters of water resistance. Love that stainless steel bracelet that's on that watch. $35.99 is the price, and only $600 gets it home. That's your first 6 stress-free, interest-free payments, and my speech impediment is coming back again.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we want to remind you of what is going on here. And I'm actually putting inside the watch box, the massive 53 millimeter Invicta Bolt that we're going to be airing in just a few moments, because I want you to be able to see. This is a big watch. It's really, really tall. This is my hot pick down here. It's a 42 millimeter. But this is that 53 millimeter Invicta.
That
Look
fits.
at how tall it is, and when I close it, it does not hit the back of the glass. That's a big deal. Because
It's
of
not
course,
touching.
It's not touching at all. No, we'll show you. It's not touching. I wonder if we can get a shot of that. It's not touching
They're
at all.
gonna try.
I want
Oh,
you to be
look.
able to see that. Here,
That's
beautiful
pretty good.
black leather with the red stitching. Here, yeah, we'll go to that shot and then you can see. See that?
That's pretty
It's
good.
not touching the glass at all. When I open it up, there it lays. Beautiful acrylic top here, all lined with felt. Here's your stainless steel little keys because you've got the stainless steel hardware on there.
I love
that
this.
box.
Look at that. I mean, that is not haphazardly done. This is a well-made box. In fact, if it's not everything we're claiming, then you send it back.
Well, so many people have been tweeting us and reaching out to us on social media, letting us know that they love their watch box, that they've filled their watch box. And that's great. I think you should get more than one. I'm not just saying that. I really believe that for those of you who are watch collectors and watch lovers, it's such a smart, easy way to keep your watches all stored. Something else that I've talked about on the show before that is worth mentioning, I have a watch box at home, but it doesn't have a see-through or acrylic top on it. So what happens is, when I don't wear a watch for a while, my watches that have Swiss Superluminova or Superluminova, if they don't get light, they don't charge, right? And then every time I take it off or I go to wear it, if I haven't worn a watch in a while, I'll have to hold it up underneath a lamp or something.
Oh, and the watch box that you have next to your nightstand does not have a, does it have, I don't know, I just made that up. She's going, wait a minute, how do you know what my
How do you
bedroom
know
looks
that?
like?
Here, though, with the see-through top, the light will always penetrate it and will always keep your loom charged. I know that's like kind of just a little detail, but it's still funny and worth noting. Here, all that beautiful black leather with the red stitching. Yes, sir.
No, I was just saying the great thing about the exhibition top in this is it allows you to pick a watch much more easily than having to open every case if they did not have it.
And all beautifully lined with felt, soft fuzzy bottom, just like Wiley, so it won't scratch up your furniture. $50. How easy is that? $8 and change gets it home. $8 and change. So you were saying you saw a movie, of course you saw Star Wars in IMAX, and you couldn't even get movie ticket for $8. But I saw a regular movie the other night, and tickets per person weren't even $8 and change. And here, a monthly payment like this, think about it this way. If you brown bag your lunch to work 1 day a month, you'll be able to afford this. Think about it that way.
And it's a great watch box. If not, again, I just want to reiterate to you, you have the ability to send it back. Now, if you don't use the rush shipping, we're going to pay for it to come to you and to come back. If you do on the rush shipping, and if you get this, get some other things too, because for only $10, we'll get it to you in 2 days.
That's right, 279-418. Let's go on to something sporty. My next door neighbor, Michael, has this timepiece, 277706. You want the Movado name. You can't pay the Movado price. No worries. You get ESQ by Movado. This is their high fashion, sporty lifestyle brand. Now, it is an extension of Movado. So while it's not a Swiss-made watch, you will get a Swiss-made movement inside. You have a Swiss-made quartz movement inside your timepiece. I'm starting and stopping my chronograph to reset it. We have a lot of different color combinations to choose from with the ESQ1 collection. This one, all done in navy blue, with the pops of green and orange inside your dial. So you can see that all of your hour markers, all of your subdials, everything is done in that anodized aluminum green. And then your main sweep hand for when you start and stop your chronograph is done in bright orange. I love that little pop of contrast there. You can see they use the word Swiss quartz, of course mimicking what it would say Swiss made on a Movado. Swiss quartz, so you know you've got a Swiss made movement inside. Date window at the 4 o'clock position. The entire watch, even your 44 millimeter stainless steel case, is wrapped in a rubberized coating. So you've got the soft touch silicone strap, and then that soft touch silicone wrapped around your case and up onto the bezel. This means it is very, very comfortable. It is very sporty if you are wearing this while working out or swimming or sweating. All of that silicone is going to be quick dry and easy to wear. Something else that I find interesting about that is the fact that if you are wearing a watch that has a silicone or rubberized coating, and maybe you are wearing it to play sports or working out, don't worry about scratching up your watch. If this was stainless steel, you would think, well, I don't want to wear it to the gym. If I scratch it on the weights or whatever I'm doing, I might mess up the case. Here, because it's all wrapped in rubber, it's super easy to wear, and you never have to worry about babying the watch. Now, I'm going to buckle this down, but I want you to watch how I do this, because this is another one of my favorite features. It's got a soft touch silicone strap. With my 6-inch wrist, I'm going down to the tightest closure. Notice on the tongue of my strap here, there's that little notch. And then if you look at the keeper, there's a little cutaway there. Because I have a smaller wrist, but I like to wear larger watches, a lot of times the tongue of my watch strap will start to stick out the edge. And I've only ever seen this also on Nixon watches, because those are sporty watches. When you fasten this down, the keeper locks the tongue into place, so it will never stick up out of the back side of your watch. I know that's just a little detail, but again, because I like to wear watches like this to the gym, when I'm swimming, riding my bike, whatever it is that I'm doing, being active, I don't want anything getting in the way. So here, you know that your tongue is locked securely in place. $90 for an ESQ Movado. This is a $300 price. We are making it so easy for you. Every day on our website, we take $100 off the retail price. Tonight, we've taken over $200 off. And how about this? $15 gets it home. $15 a month. 277706.
All right, I've been wearing the next watch for the last several minutes just to see if this is a watch I could get away with. Okay, is this the largest watch we've had on here? 53 millimeters?
You know what? I think it wears even larger than some of those Elini Barokas timepieces, yeah.
Oh, there is no doubt about it. This is a big, bold design, and there is a weight and a heft to the case. Now, whenever you see something coming from Invicta with so many different styles, you want to know what's in there. What quality is it? I want you to take a look. We're just going to start. I want you to go into, just maybe a close-up. I want you to be able to see the carbon fiber that's at the very, very, very heart of the dial. Then you begin to see the 3-hand configuration, the hour, the minute, and a continuously operating small seconds right here at the 2 o'clock position. 2 additional subdials for our chronograph function. You're also going to notice the Reserve Collection logo right there on our seconds. Start, stop, and reset. Genuine Superluminova all the way around, which means that's going to be really, really, really nice. Now, we're going to flip this over. I want you to see the back of the watch. Oops, there we go. Now, that is a screw-down back that's going to help add to the water resistance. Now, the watch is Swiss-made. And, oh, that's a heavy watch, too. This is, I think I may damage the desk. All stainless steel, flame fusion crystal, and 200 meters of water resistance. Now, let me put this on the wrist. I love, and maybe we'll get some close-ups of some of this. All right, they're going to come in pretty close on this for me. Megan, you know, in the Bolt collection and a few others, they've used this very finely woven, almost cable.
Like a rope. Yeah, oh, okay. I always see it as like a rope, but yeah.
But it's metal.
Yeah, cable's an even better way to describe it.
And notice how they have it running even through the bracelet. This is, of course, to let everyone know it's part of the Reserve collection, just like this on the second hand. This is a gorgeous watch. I do not think it's worth $3,895. Is it worth $359? Yes, it is. This is your $500 to $700 watch. At $279.99, that's just a steal.
And you know we're rarely ever able to bring out the Swiss-made Invicta. So take advantage. We only have, I believe, 3 of these remaining. These are selling out very, very quickly. So take advantage. 257052.
All right, coming up right behind that, is that another Invicta?
Another big, bad, bold Invicta.
Oh, that's pretty nice.
Look at this one.
I am so glad that a private conversation behind closed doors have allowed us to sneak some Invictas in every now and then.
I know, it's wonderful because we are the largest authorized retailer of Invicta.
Yeah, I mean, nobody in North America that's an authorized retailer can sell, I think it's funny we're saying retailer. Are you going to honestly tell me that $89.99 is a retail price? Not at all. Look at that. Now this starts to have a look of even some of our brands. You notice how they've done a great curvature in the lugs. You have a unirotating bezel. The gunmetal case on this watch I think really looks good. Now the Japanese VD77 movement in there, it's a good movement. And it's going to be, I think, reliable and accurate. As we flip that over, you're going to see the screw down back.
I always like how Invicta does decoration and detail on their case backs a lot.
Yep, 100 meters of water resistance. Flame Fusion crystal, that is going to be a proprietary crystal by Invicta that should have the less shatter prone than sapphire, but a certain level of scratch resistance as well as durability. So this is going to hold up far better than hardened mineral crystal, but certainly not like sapphire is going to hold up. You're also going to appreciate a little bit of bright work that's going on throughout the custom strap that's on the watch. And I think this is a great value at $89.99. $179, maybe. My magic point for an Invicta watch that's going to be more of the pedestrian variety is the $100 price point.
Well, this is perfect, and that's under that.
Yeah, I mean, if you can find an Invicta for, if it had a Swiss movement, then you might get a little bit more than that. The $179, which is what it's going at WOW, don't pay that. I'm sure they're going to love that in the home office.
I love how thick the silicone strap is and how curved the lugs are, because, Invicta watches a lot of times can be very, very big. That's like one of their signature things to do. And what I appreciate is they always make sure that they're curved. Even when we do product videos, and I'll do product videos on some of the Bolt collection, they have like these pink ones that are obviously geared towards ladies, and they'll be 52, 53 millimeters. They still curve down even to a 6-inch wrist.
Again, only $15 gets this watch home, and that's your first of 6 stress-free, interest-free payments. We like that watch. We hope you will too.
Now this next Invicta, you might like them because this is a Swiss parts movement inside. It is also a numbered limited edition. This one, limited edition with your own individual number on the case back.
This meets my criteria. This is something I've had ever since I've been watching television.
Oh yeah?
And I found out there's a few discount stores throughout the country that will sell the uber discounted Invicta. And the magic point is $100. Now understand there's a lot of different movements that can go in a watch. It might be a Japanese movement, a Chinese movement. It might be a Swiss movement. Now this watch has a Swiss parts movement on the inside, which means that the most critical parts inside the watch are going to be Swiss made. That doesn't mean that the movement is Swiss. We don't want to confuse you or fool you. In fact, it's going to be clearly labeled on the back that it is Swiss parts movement, which means the things that are most critical for timekeeping and are most precision are going to be Swiss. Now, when you flip it back over, you're seeing a lot of style. And I can tell you that the case is incredibly well built. Look at how thick that case is. It kind of reminds you of the Matador and the thickness of the case. But Megan is right. Notice the curvature. When you hold the watch just naturally without having to do a thing, notice that it automatically starts to take a rounded shape. Now let me slip it on the wrist and you can see even more so how rounded it actually is. Now, let me slip this on, and you can see what you think.
I love this mother of pearl dial. It almost, well, it's not really a mother of pearl, but it is in some lights. It actually tricked me a moment ago. I thought it was mother of pearl. It's the way that gunmetal sunray dial is done. It's really quite fantastic.
It would be hard to find this at $99. That'd be great, though. But I think it's a bit more masculine with the gunmetal, the polyurethane strap, that bit of bright work running through there. Again, we're not going to try to tell you that this is a $1,000 watch or it's going to be equal to some of those other super high ends that we may have. But we are very delighted that a watch, I'm going to say to the $244 price, that's not unfair for this watch at all. $200 would be a good price. $150, you should feel good. $99.99 when we're doing free shipping is incredible. 229007. Don't wait. Don't let this 48mm Invicta get away from you. Speaking of a lot of style,
this is wild when you look at this up close. The 46mm Genesis Vision. Now keep in mind that this is a timepiece that measures at 46mm, but is going to wear, when you factor in the oversized crown and the oversized pushers, closer to a 47.5mm.
and incredibly, the first thing I picked it up, the strap. So comfortable. Now when you look and realize, now Megan, am I seeing mother of pearl in the center part of that? What is that mother of pearl? Look at that. Hold on, let Megan take a peek. Is that not mother of pearl, black mother of pearl?
I don't believe it is.
Well, it has the look of it, though.
It has the look of it.
But they're going to come in even closer, and you can see the iridescence that we're seeing bouncing back off of that. Can you see that, Megan?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that really has a brightness to it that I'm not sure what they've used
You know what
there.
I think it's a part of the quartz movement that they've skeletonized in the dial to allow you to see, to almost give the appearance of you're looking at a slightly skeletonized dial.
It looks awesome. It really, really does. Now, when you look at the watch, you're seeing the three-hand configuration of the hour, the minute, and a small second subdial at the 3 o'clock position. You also have your totalers for the chronograph. There's your start, your stop, and of course your reset right there. Now, I think this is a really good-looking watch with a lot of style. The Genesis collection has really stood out in its style and its vision, but it's not as large as some of the other Elini Barokas watches.
This is also one of the Elini Barokas watches to feature a Swiss-made movement. It features the ISA 8361, which is the new Swiss-made movement that we have in our Swiss-made Swiss Legend watches. Mm-hmm. That's the Swiss-made ISA movement that took ISA 5 years in development to create.
Yeah, so ISA releasing that brand new movement, again, 5 years, half a decade in development. We're using a cutting-edge movement. This isn't just some old or inferior movement. This is the latest technology from ISA. So we're delighted about that. You're also going to appreciate, of course, the use of 316L stainless steel, the 200 meters of water resistance, as well as the fact that you have all this style in this brand new design. And the fact that we're taking a new design and marking it down from its $194 price to $119. Does Niso know that? Does he know that a watch that has just been released has been marked down for this you know, he doesn't always know what the markdowns are, which is kind of funny. It's true. $119.99. Only $20 gets the watch home. I love the fact that it's got this almost this hinge mechanism that's attaching the strap not only to the lugs right here, but also that style element that reaches down almost to appear to grab a hold. And I think you're right. There's kind of a bit of an homage to carbon fiber in the outer chapter ring. You have that glossy appearance. Boy, I want to know if that really is mother of pearl. I guess it's not, but it looks like it. The stylized, oversized crown is nice too. It's another design element.
We got a great tweet in from our friend Dan that says the new Elini models are fantastic. Look and feel great on the wrist. Glad that you agree. Here's another one. Now, earlier on in the show, we saw the general collection in a Chinese automatic movement. Now, we are taking a look with a Swiss-made ISA 2331 quartz movement. These are big timepieces. Now here, you've got a two-tone color combination of black and silver tone. You'll notice that your dial layout is relatively similar to the dial layout that we saw in the Chinese automatic, but it was skeletonized. So here it's a full silver tone dial, but when we come in closer, you'll see that it's a multi-level, multi-piece dial. These new Elini Barokas watches are all 200-meter professional grade dive watches, and of course, 200 meters means it's dive capable. Unidirectional rotating bezel means you can say it is a professional dive watch. Looking inside that dial, notice the multi-levels that I'm talking about. It almost looks like you were looking into an automatic movement or something, because they've got the Côte de Genève, or the Geneva waves. They've got the outer dial ring applied there with the Arabic numeral and stick hour markers. Again, that's a Swiss-made ISA 2331. We give you a 5-year warranty on that. The oversized locking crown guard. Make sure your crown is all the way pushed down, screwed in, and then this very easily just snaps right into place. Notice the multi-piece case design here. All of the different elements done in silver tone that are put together and then held together using these black ionic plated screws. Elini Barokas on that crown. Then I'm showing you in the case back. You can see the case back all screwed down there. You can see Swiss-made movement, 5-year warranty again, Sapphitech crystal. I'm going to try this on. You know what? Wiley tried the last one on, so I'm going to try this one on. I have a 6-inch wrist. I have always said for a very long time on the show that Elini Barokas watches do not scare me. That I am able to wear them even with my 6-inch wrist, because they are constructed in such a way that they fit even smaller wrists. And while I'm not going to say that, oh, this is lightweight and this is a slimline design, because I think we both know that this is a big watch. It wears on the wrist like a 52 millimeter. But notice, it's not even cinched down to the tightest closure. This could actually be worn on an even smaller wrist than mine. $130. This is the price for the Swiss-made 3-hand quartz movement. 6 payments of $23.33. Get it home. $295,662. This was a watch that we ended the show with last night in a rose tone variation, the 36 millimeter Casablanca. This is a watch that has such gorgeous detail to it, because not only do you have what I think is an absolutely fantastic jewelry quality bracelet, you also have this beautiful dial done in multi-level. And look at the center chapter of the dial here. That's where I want to start. Genuine mother of pearl. Now, because mother of pearl is made in nature, no 2 dials will ever look alike. That is why no 2 dials ever pick up color the exact same way. So this black mother of pearl dial, this mother of pearl dial, I should say, it's been painted black. Notice how it's really picking up some colors of purple and green in there. Just below that and around that, you've got this beautiful light silver tone dial area. And your continuous running seconds, look how gorgeous that is. Your continuous running seconds and the outer edge of the mother of pearl are all encrusted with white Austrian crystals meant to look like diamonds. Even at the very tip of your 12 o'clock hour marker, you have a single solitaire crystal. Now this is all done in silver tone, and you guys know many times on the show I have said that silver tone timepieces are wardrobe staples. These are the kind of watches that you can wear with everything, ladies. So how lovely and elegant would a timepiece like this be for everyday wear? There's that gorgeous jewelry quality bracelet, again, resembling a timepiece way more than the $90 price you'll pay. And I love the stress-free payments. $15 down. How beautiful of a gift this would be to get your girlfriend, your mother, your daughter. It's an age-appropriate, timeless design. And you get a 5-year warranty on the movement right off the bat. That is a Japanese quartz movement. 287-705.
Oh, this is nice, the Monte Viso. This is the 48 millimeter Monte Viso chronograph with black, genuine leather strap, gray dial. This is that kind of slate gray dial that's multi-leveled. I mean, you notice you have the smooth subdials, and then you go into almost that Côte de Genève, or that kind of wainscoting that's going on the lower part of the dial. Then the chapter ring has the stick indices for the hours, and those little pops of gold even around the subdial. This is done in a satin finish as opposed to the high mirror polish in the gold tone that's on the case, and really, really looks good. This is an unusual combination to see this gray like this on here with the gold. Megan, do you like that, the gray and the gold combo that you're seeing?
I always appreciate watches like this with different color combos. And you know what I was thinking about was this watch came out about 2 years ago from Lucian Piccard. This was the first Lucian Piccard timepiece that we designed as a company that was over, I believe, 45 millimeters. Isn't it interesting to think about how many new Lucian Piccards we have that are bigger case designs? And this, when the Monteviso came out, was a bestseller because so many gentlemen out there had written in and called into our customer service and said, I'm a bigger guy, I have a bigger wrist, I don't want to wear 42 millimeter, I don't want to wear 43 millimeter. So we designed the Monteviso to have that classic look for a gentleman to wear every day to the office, but be in that bigger, more modern case size.
But it's not so much so that you can't wear it.
Oh, no,
it doesn't feel like the
wear.
Invictas that are just, you know, bulky. This is just...
This is a great dress watch, just so happens to be in a 48 millimeter. This also features the VD53 with date, quartz chronograph movement. You get a 5-year warranty on that. 100 meters of water resistance, genuine leather strap, $10. Other than the list to be the most affordable watch of the night, 178667.
Oh, this is a great watch. I like this watch a lot because they have used these two subdials, one at the 12 o'clock, one at the 6 o'clock, that are actually rotating instead of using hands. So the whole wheel rotates. Now, it's not just a great looking watch, but there's still a lot of functionality because it's also a chronograph. Hitting the pusher at the 2 o'clock is going to start the locked into place seconds hand that's locked into the 12 o'clock position. That's going to be your start, stop, and your reset at the 4 o'clock. A lot of style here with the two bridges that are going to be running from the 10 and 2 o'clock position and the 8 and 4 o'clock position that really give you the look of those bridges holding those two subdials or wheels in place. So much style here. Do not wait to pay I'm not sure what they've done with pricing here on this one. Take a look at the WOW price and then our sale price. Guys, check that out and see if that's right, because that looks kind of a cattywampus there. Yes, if you wait till midnight, you'll pay less. That can't be right. So, folks, we'll try to give you the correct on that, or you can check our website in the next 10 minutes, and that'll be updated. Sorry about that. 287804. That's why we don't serve alcohol this early in the evening. All right. Following up right behind that. Oh, we like this.
I like this color combination of seeing the gunmetal and the rose here.
Yeah, there's just something about this. This, to me, has a look as if it should be made by Armani. And I think it's just something with the slatted dial that just looks like a little bit like their logo. Now, maybe if that was intentional or not, I'm not sure. I'll have to ask Niso about that. But this 45 millimeter case really does hold a lot of style all the way around. Now, this case, unlike the other one you just saw, is in high mirror polish. And of course, that's all gold plating, and it really does look good. Now, as you come in even closer to that, I want you to see in the dial to see that texturing, because the lowest layer is going to be incredibly smooth. And then you begin to see the next layer that happens to have all that slatting over it. Now, of course, it's a fully functioning chronograph, and simply hitting that pusher is going to start our sweep hand. Start, stop, and of course there's our reset. It's an easy to read watch, and you can see that the hour indices are in high mirror polish, and you have a date complication at the 6 o'clock position. Flipping the watch over, you're going to be able to see, of course, there's a Japanese movement in there, Sapphitech crystal, water resistant to 50 meters. Now, not that you'd want to get this watch wet, not with this leather strap. Unlike Luminox, which happens to have a treated strap that's great for getting wet, this one you would not want to get wet. I'm just going to say if you get caught in the rain or pushed in the pool, you're safe. I also love the onion style crown on here that just adds a little bit more style to the watch. Megan, when you see this, do you think this is something that's suitable for the office?
Absolutely, this is something suitable for the office.
Not too dressy?
No, I don't think so. I mean, it depends on where you work. But think about it, like I wouldn't say you are too dressed up right now, and I think the watch looks great.
Oh yeah, it does. I mean, I really like this. Now this comes in other colors, styles, and varieties. So if this particular one in the gunmetal isn't right for you, check our website. There's some other great color selections with this watch, and each one has a different look to it. Now I think this looks good with what I'm wearing.
though. I like the gunmetal because gunmetal, we typically think that it's a sporty timepiece color. It's something that's usually reserved for the sport watches, the weekend warrior kind of timepieces. Rarely do we see it matched here with beautiful 18 karat mirror polished rose and then the black leather strap. So I would advocate trying out something different. Look at the price that you're paying on something like this. And what's great is we have extended our holiday return policy, or we have a holiday return policy right now. So any order that you place by December 31st, you'll be able to have until January 31st to return it.
That's great.
So even next weekend shows, which will be after Christmas technically when we're here, you can even order them and you'll still have until January 31st to process those returns. So you have plenty of time to order these, and if the person you're giving it to as a gift doesn't love it, they can return it very easily. Returns are always free. And remember, shipping right now, while usually free, if you want to guarantee you'll get your watch in time for Christmas, select 2-day shipping for $9.99. That is per order, not per item. So you can order 1 watch or 10 watches, and 2-day shipping for $10. So generous. I honestly cannot believe that. I wish I could say the name of the website that I ordered something from that I had to pay for shipping on to guarantee it got to my girlfriend in time for Christmas.
Wow. Yeah.
And it was really expensive. I mean, it was my fault because I waited so late, but it gets expensive out there, and 2-day shipping for $10 doesn't exist.
Particularly at the holidays. They must be like running people off the road to get it to your house.
Whatever, as long as it gets there.
As long as it gets to you. We're not going to tell you how they get it there.
All right, let's jump into something very girly.
Oh, well, I'll step away.
This
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Seriously.
The Audrina chronograph. You know what? Believe it or not, this was a bestseller on the show last night.
Well, it's beautiful, but you are not kidding. This is incredibly girly.
I'm just going to say that even the rose tone on this watch looks pink. And that's because rose tone in and of itself can take on various shades of pinks and golds. This, to me, though, the entire watch looks like a pink watch. Now, the 42mm Audrina features a Japanese chronograph movement inside. When we get a nice close shot of the dial, you'll be able to see that that textured rose tone dial also features, much like my hot pick, individual crystals set at the end of every single one of your rose tone hour markers. You can see your little date window right there. When you move outwards, you've got all mirror polished 18 karat rose tone for your case. It's a stainless steel case and bezel. Stainless steel case back as well. But now notice where a traditional bracelet would be soldered on at the lug area. The lug and bracelet is all done in acrylic. That is why it looks nearly see-through, and also why you get it in this soft, soft, soft blush pink color. This is a fun watch. Now again, it is super girly. It is a get noticed watch because it's not going to look like anything else in your collection. How many girls out there remember wearing those sandals jellies when you were young? Yeah, right? That's what this reminds me of. These look like jellies. This is the kind of watch that's going to be very lightweight, and the reason for that is you don't have a heavy stainless steel bracelet. You've got just the stainless steel case and then an acrylic or plastic strap here. That's why it's very, very easy to wear. I'm going to take it off one more time so you can see. You do have stainless steel hardware right here, and again, a stainless steel screwed in case back. But everything else, about 75% of the watch, is done in acrylic.
Now, is it the bracelet itself? Is it hard or is it soft?
No, it's a hard material. It's a hard and durable plastic, and they use stainless steel screws to hold it together.
Because it looks like it could be rubbery, but it's not.
I know, that's what I was saying. It looks like almost jellies, but it's an acrylic plastic. That
Just
they use.
checking.
Michael Kors uses this a lot with their tortoise print and other bracelets that they do when they're not stainless steel. So, and as you guys saw it on my wrist, it fits really, really well. It wraps around very, very easily. $21.67 gets it on. That's it. $21. Now, at $275, the list price, I would say no way. It's way too expensive. But for $20 a month, I'm just rounding there. For $20 a month, yeah, why not? It's fun. Even if you wore it a couple of times on the weekend, you've made back what you spent on it. $295,820. Like your daughter could wear a watch like this. I could see a young woman, a 15, 16-year-old daughter wearing a watch like this.
Yes, but you know, with the right lady that just wants to have something with a little bit of
I
flash,
would wear it.
you know, I mean, that's nice.
I'm the right lady.
Well, yes, you are. All the way around. Whatever the question is, you're the right lady.
283006. Last night we had the 47 millimeter highway in black and blue, the Bruiser edition. Now we've got the black and red. Again, this features the Citizen Miyota OS11 quartz chronograph movement inside, and it's also the most affordable Momo design of the show.
I think it looks really, really good because I love the fact that it comes in a variety of different colors and styles. The fact that you have half carbon fiber and then that kind of satin finish on the other side really looks good on the dial. It just stands out. This really is an homage to the automotive and racing industry. Momo Design, the Italian company, is known for their automotive accessories, whether it's steering wheels, seats, shifters inside the car. All of these things are going to be custom work. Well, when they just put their hand to design to watches, well, they wanted it to also have that racing flair. Notice the same color that runs throughout the bezel and the dial also runs along the strap. As you turn to the edge, you can also see that color coming through on the bezel as well. Now, that's a locked into place bezel, so it does not rotate. Now, when you want to size this, now this is one of those things that you have to make sure you know what you're doing here.
I was saying last night it's kind of scary.
Well, it's always better to err on this is a little too big than a little too small. But you can also contact Momo if you ever needed to order another strap, because what you do is you simply, once you get to the right size, you're able to cut that to the right length. It goes inside of the deployant, and then it's locked to your wrist. It's a very custom watch. But then again, that's what Momo is all about. If someone, oh yeah, people can take a Ferrari to Momo and they'll just make it better.
You know what's interesting though, when you are going to be cutting the strap on your timepiece, as you're testing it out, make sure you are trimming one side and then the other, and then the next side and then the other. Don't just cut off one side. Try and even it out. The reason for that is, if you keep cutting on one side until it fits you right, you might end up with the buckle somewhere over here. So make sure you trim it one side, try it on. It doesn't work? Trim the other side, try it on. Don't just go cutting one side off, because then it'll be really sad.
Wait a minute. This does not suit what I'm wearing, but look at what you're wearing and look at this watch.
Oh, look how fabulous I am.
I mean,
Well,
you're wearing
I'll try it on.
red.
I'll try it on so you can see. I wore this last night. It fits very, very well. And what's
Oh,
nice
soft
about it,
strap.
And what's nice about it is because you've got the silicone strap linked right up into the case, it just curves immediately. Look, check this out.
On the close-up, you can really see that. It looks good. And I like that pop of red. So if you were going to be spending time on the Swiss Watch International yacht, you might wear that dress and that watch.
And as a matter of fact, I did.
What?
283006, you weren't invited. Again, it has the
Again?
Miyota OS11 quartz chronograph movement. Consult our website, because if we did not sell out of them last night, we have the black and blue version, $499.99. The price goes up to $160. It's still going to be the most affordable Momo on our site. 6 payments of $1666. 283006.
How would you like 3 movements for the price of 1? We happen to like this watch a lot. Why? Because Redline, at the 50mm Jetstream multifunction watch, well, it says multifunction. I want you to take a look more closely, because it's not a multifunction, it's a multiple time zone watch. You notice at the 3 o'clock position, you have the largest of the movements that go in there, and that's a 3-hand configuration, the hour, the minute, and a continuously operating sweep hand. Then at the 10 o'clock and the 8 o'clock position, you have 2 additional dials that are actually additional times. Now, it's a stylized element that you could set them all to the same time, or if you have people, like, you know, you and I both have people that ended up traveling or on the other side of the planet, you can keep up with them by knowing exactly the time at a glance. Now, what you're not seeing is on the left side of that watch, there's 2 hidden crowns that allow you to adjust the time. A lot of style, a lot of design in this watch for only $89.99. This is a great something to throw in there if you're looking for that gift that's unique for an oversized watch, but you don't want to throw too much money into it.
Here's another version. It's not the same watch, but it's another oversized timepiece if you want something that's unique. This is the 48mm Night Rally. Big, bad, and bold, and on a bracelet. Don't worry, though. It is super curved, so it will fit down if you've got at least a 6.5-inch wrist. You have a silvery white textured dial. Of course, all of your sub-dials and the colors in there meant to simulate being inside a high-end sports car. That's why you got that almost speedometer-like look. 100 meters of water resistance, a 5-year warranty on the Japanese chronograph quartz movement, 6 payments of $15. Every single item has been on 6 payments, so please take advantage of these incredible deals. 281-696.
You know, that watch that you just showed reminds me of a Zimmix watch that I have. It's similar style in how it just presents itself. I like that. Speaking of liking something.
Speaking of style, here is the 39mm Technomarine Swiss made. And here's the incredible thing. If you go into department stores where you can find Technomarine, because it is a high-end fashion designing company, this is a $2,000 watch. We've got it for $320. Now, while that last Michael Kors might have been a bit too girly even for me, this is the kind of timepiece that I love. Pink mother of pearl, pink elegantly appointed crystals, done in a gorgeous wave pattern all the way around the bezel, and not just a pretty timepiece. This Swiss-made timepiece with your Swiss-made Ronda 5030D quartz chronograph movement, also with the unidirectional bezel and 200 meters of water resistance, is a watch you can dive in. Now, this is what we would call a dress diver because it's definitely dive capable, but it's such a gorgeous high-end design that I wouldn't exactly put this on with my bathing suit and go swimming, but it's nice to know if I wanted to, I could. Sapphire crystal on there to protect that gorgeous mother of pearl dial. All 316L stainless steel. It's a taller case because it does have a presentation to it. And notice with the integrated bracelet how it tapers once it gets away from the lugs for your comfort. Now, Technomarine watches are some of the most fun, high fashion watches that you can wear while swimming, while diving. This is the kind of watch that you put on and you never have to take off. I love the way the crown and pushers just totally blend into the sides of the case. Notice something else, your customized push button dual deploying clasp. You've got the Technomarine logo on there, and when you push that, it comes very easily apart. I'm going to show you your case back where you can see customization. It's interesting, the Technomarine logo sort of looks like the Momo Design logo to me at times, but it's actually a shark's tooth, which I think is cool. $320 for a Swiss-made watch from a high-end fashion brand. $53 and change gets this home. We have various sizes of this timepiece on our website. This is my favorite. I love 39mm because it's not too big, but it's not too small. We just got a great tweet in from our friend David. He thinks it's a beautiful watch. I agree. I think this is one of those great watches that a woman of any age can wear. It's age appropriate. A teenager can enjoy a Technomarine timepiece like this, but you could enjoy it yourself, ladies. I would wear a watch like this. It's beautiful, it's feminine, and again, it's a Swiss-made watch for $1,700 off. 238-671.
A watch that I own happens to be the 45mm Tungsten Pro. And when you look at the watch, you're wondering, is that stainless steel? No, it is tungsten. It is not tungsten coated or looks like tungsten. It is solid tungsten. Why is that important? Because tungsten has the same density and weight as solid gold. When you pick this watch up, the first thing you notice is its weight. The second thing that you notice is literally its appearance itself. The ETA G10 211 quartz movement inside is an incredibly reliable and accurate movement. Sapphire crystal, not Sapphitech on this one, sapphire crystal, and of course 100 meters of water resistance. Now, many of you may have a tungsten wedding ring or a piece of tungsten jewelry. You know how expensive that was. Look at this watch at $269.99. This watch, I believe, is worth every penny of that. But it's been marked down to $189.99. I bought the watch because my son and I both fell in love with it, and it was just that watch where we knew, all right, we're going to have fun swapping this watch out back and forth. Now, it also comes in other colors, styles, variety. So check our website. There's a beautiful black dial. There is a blue dial with red accents I call the Superman watch. When you see it, there is just a smoky appearance to the tungsten, even in high mirror polish, that I'm hoping the studio captures. It's a fully functioning chronograph. Simply hitting that pusher at the 2 o'clock is going to be our start, stop, and reset. The watch has a unirotating bezel, and with 100 meters of water resistance, that means this watch makes a great dive companion. It's not an authentic dive watch, even though it's in a diver style, but you need 200 meters of water resistance to have that. There is a screw down back that's going to help add to the level of water resistance, and you have a push button dual deployant clasp, which makes it easier to go off and on the wrist. Now, Megan, do you like the silver, the blue, or the black version best?
You know, it always depends on what kind of mood I'm in, but I definitely think that it's not, even though it says white dial, Wiley and I can assure you that this is a silvery white.
Oh, yeah.
It's really more silver, honestly, than white. And for some reason, I happen to think this is the dressiest variation. I always love it with the red dial, which was a popular seller last night. I like when I see it with blue or black. I know you call the blue one the Captain America Superman watch.
Oh, Captain America works too. You'll notice on this dial, I'm going to say it's almost as if someone has put a glaze or a frosting over the white. So it may actually be white with just a silver haze to it, because in our beauty shot it looks more white, but here in the studio I'm seeing both white and silver from it. So either way, I think that's an accurate picture right now of the color that we're seeing here in the studio. We have two monitors, our preview monitor and what's going out on the air. And what's going out on the air looks like what you were seeing here in the studio. Only $31.67 to get this watch home. That's your first of 6 stress-free, interest-free payments. We think that looks pretty good. Folks, I have this watch. I can attest to its quality, its style, and it's one of those watches that if I could only have one watch, this falls on that limited list of things that I would go, yeah, I could get by with just this watch.
I can attest to the fact that on his very first show with me ever, he fell in love with this watch. I know your son did too.
Yep, we love it. Hard to believe there's just moments left in the program before we have to close out.
I know. So ladies and gentlemen, this is going to do it for us before we see you guys again after Christmas. Remember, if you select 2-day shipping for an additional $9.99, you'll be able to guarantee your orders make it there in time for Christmas. We're going to do a little recap now and see what the best-selling item of the weekend was. Remember, you've got until midnight tonight, Eastern Standard Time, to place your orders so you get the TV price and the 6 payments. On behalf of Wiley and I, Merry Christmas to everyone out there.
And we hope to see you again soon. We'll be back next weekend, so do join us because there's still great bargains to be had.
You can spend your Christmas money.
Yes, and if you find a watch and you don't want to spend the 2-day shipping, just take a picture of it off the website and put it in an envelope.
I used to say to do that,
yeah.
But last year I used to say just put it in an envelope and be like, this is what I got you, it's coming soon.
Yeah. We'll see you soon. Let's take a look at this review. Now, I like this watch. I think there's a lot of style to this. I own this watch. This is the 44mm San Marco automatic. It comes in a variety of colors and styles, and it gives you a lot of pop for only $139.99. $23 gets it home. That's your first of 6 stress-free, interest-free payments. 287756 for the Lucian Piccard San Marco. Right behind that is going to be another Lucian Piccard. We love this. Happens to be in a slate gray that looks great. This is a lot of pop with the gold and gray together, and with that Croco embossed leather strap, it looks incredible. Of course, that's what it looked like at night. Now you're seeing, we went black just for a second. This is that same watch you saw earlier that's going to be in a different color and style. This is that 3-movement Redline, and it has 3 movements inside. One at the larger 3 o'clock position is going to have the hour of the minute continuously operating sweep band and 2 additional time zones at the 10 o'clock and the 8 o'clock position. There are hidden crowns on the left side of the watch, and that pop of red over on the right side of the crown looks incredible. Right behind that is going to be the Matador. Now, this happens to be a limited edition piece. There's only 200 pieces made of this watch, but there's also 200 parts inside of it. It has that dual barrel configuration and the retrograde power reserve indicator at the 6 o'clock position. An incredible bargain at only $299.99, only $50 gets it home. Your first of 6 stress-free, interest-free payments. Talking about big and bold, how about Invicta?
Yeah, this next one. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, please.
I was just going to say that we have very, very limited quantity of this. We are down to single-digit quantity of this 53mm Bolt. This is a Swiss-made Invicta. You've got a carbon fiber dial, a massive 53mm case done in 18-karat rose tone with accents of black ionic plating, a customized black polyurethane strap on there, 200 meters of water resistance, flame fusion crystal, 4666 gets it home, 257052.
Ooh, the pulsometer is still there. If you have a chance to get this beautiful limited edition piece of only 1,942 pieces has been a bestseller. Now, it's a 37 joule automatic with 42 hours of power reserve. It is truly a classic piece and marked down at 80% off. Not $5,000, only $999. We say only because we've made it with 6 stress-free interest-free payments of only $166.66. $290322 to get a classic piece home to you.
Looks like you guys loved the Swiss-made Quartz version of the General 295662, $140, or your first payment of $2333, and that is a 200-meter professional grade diver.
On behalf of Megan and myself, thank you for joining us here at Swiss Watch International's World of Watches. We'll be joining you next weekend. Have a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to you until we see you again. Take care and thanks for watching with us.
We love you guys. Merry Christmas.
Bye-bye.
We'll see you next time. You can catch our weekend preview on YouTube. It'll be up by tomorrow.
Oh, that's right. See you, buddy.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are for the Sunday edition of World of Watches TV, and this is our last chance for you to get those packages out in time for Christmas delivery. Thank you for joining us. My name is Megan.
And I'm Wiley.
I missed you last night.
Well, thank you. I missed being here. Take that for whatever it's worth. Really did. And I know that Megan and all of you had an outstanding program last night, but we have some great surprises for you in the next 3 hours. This is the best 3 hours in watch television, and we welcome you to the program. If you're unfamiliar with us, we are Swiss Watch International, and this is World of Watches. We offer the very best prices in watches. You're going to find some high-end brands as well as some very pedestrian brands, and all of them are going to be easy to own. Are we still on all 6 payments?
Every single item.
Stress-free, interest-free payments, which means even our highest-end models you're going to find at prices that you're going to be able to afford.
Now we're going to continue just like we did with last night's lineup with 3 different categories, 1 per hour. Now, as we saw last night, and I'm trying to push this point home without making anyone too nervous out there, things are selling out very, very quickly. A lot of items that we even had slated for tonight's show, like I was telling you, we actually sold out of them even before we could air them tonight. So things are selling out. I want you to go to WorldofWatches.com where you can see the entire lineup and follow along there. Our first hour tonight, we're going to have a lot of new items and styles that you've never seen before, and a lot of them from brands that we haven't aired before, including Bulova AcuSwiss, which of course is an extension of Bulova Acutron. Our second hour tonight is going to be all automatics and mechanicals, although we will see some of those in our first hour. And then our third hour, we are calling last minute holiday gifts, but pretty much every single hour is going to give you great last minute holiday gifts. Here's the deal with the shipping. You guys know we always offer free shipping around here, and that's 365 days a year. But being that we are so close from Christmas Day right now, it's only 5 days away, here's what we're able to offer everyone out there if you order this weekend. Select 2-day shipping. It's an additional $9.99, so let's say it's $10 for 2-day shipping, and you're guaranteed to have it. Yeah, it's really good. You're guaranteed to have it for Christmas, and here's the great thing about it. It's not per item. Whether you order 1 watch or 5 or 6 watches, it's just the flat rate of $9.99. So I don't know about you, but I actually, other Christmas gifts and such that I'm giving people that I'm not getting here at World of Watches, I actually ordered a few things for some people from another big name website the other day. And even to get it with standard flat rate shipping, it was way more than $10. So this is 2-day shipping for $10.
We are delighted to be able to get those gifts to you as quickly as possible. Now, you should see things arriving. If you've already ordered stuff, I had some people kind of send me saying, is some of the shipping slowing down a little bit? We have been inundated. If you are receiving anything slowly, trust me, I know the folks out there right now are working their little backsides off to make sure you get your stuff for the holidays. Yeah, overtime and double shifts. So If there is a delay, and some of you have written and said, hey, can you get a little faster? Trust me, they're going as fast as they can, but you are going to be guaranteed with that 2-day shipping. It is going out and you will receive it, so don't worry about that.
All right, we want to talk to you guys on Twitter. I appreciate everybody who was sending me so many tweets last night at WOW TV Chat. We had a very active social media party last night, so keep it up. Keep up the momentum tonight at WOW TV Chat so we don't make this guy feel bad because you guys only want to talk to me.
The only reason I'm here is so that she doesn't have to sit in the center of the TV where it looks
My
like...
hair's on fire?
Yes. We love all the people who tweeted like, the Holy Spirit is coming on Megan
I was
tonight.
compelled last
We love
night.
that. We
I was
did. We
compelled.
really did. In fact, I was the one who sent the message. So we'll try to make sure that that fire doesn't get too warm, and we're glad you're there.
We're going to jump into a preview now and show you a little sample of what's coming up in our first of 3 hours. This is actually the first watch that we're going to kick the show off with. This is one of those Bulova AcuSwiss timepieces, 297396. Now, this is the 42 millimeter Gemini. This is a Swiss-made watch with a Swiss-made mechanical movement. The design here is reminiscent of the Bulova designs you would have seen in the 1960s and 70s. In that beautiful 42 millimeter silver tone case, you've got a classic, I'm going to call it a medium brown. It's not a super dark brown, but it's not a light tan. It's that nice medium brown, genuine leather strap, and it's almost done in a way where it feels like it's slightly weathered. I love that. Sapphire crystal, super luminova on the hour markers and the hands. 6 payments of $55, $297,396.
Right behind that, the 52 millimeter Bolt Reserve from Invicta. Now the Reserve collection, I have a couple of watches from Invicta that are from the Reserve collection. That tends to be a little higher end all the way around in its manufacturing, in its quality, and its content, and you certainly aren't going to be disappointed with this oversized watch. I happen to like this one a lot. I love the depth of the design through the dial, all the way down to going to that perlage decoration right below the super luminova that you're seeing at the hour markers. This is a bold watch. We know it's large, but wait till you see it on the wrist. We like it. We hope you're going to like it too. And only $110 to get this $659.99 watch home. Remember, if you order this one or a collection of watches tonight, it's only $9.99 to get it with second day shipping. 179088 will get you the Invicta Bolt Reserve.
Coming up right behind that, 293861, the Frederique Constant 40 millimeter. This is the limited edition Healey automatic. Healey, just like the race car, Frederique Constant is one of those Swiss-made brands that does a lot in the world of automotive racing. And here is a timepiece that commemorates the Healey. Now again, this Swiss-made timepiece does feature a Swiss-made automatic movement, but it's a super classic design all the way around. Slightly textured center chapter of the dial, the outer edge where you've got all of your stick hour markers. Each one individually has genuine Swiss super luminova along with the hands. You have a true 5-row multi-link bracelet on there. And look at the price. This is what we're doing until midnight tonight Eastern Standard Time. We are offering you a mere $2,100 timepiece for $880. Even better than that, 6 payments of $146.66. 6 payments on every single item that you'll see on the show tonight. What we did not sell out of from last night's show is still available at WorldofWatches.com, also with 6 payments. We'll even remind you of some of those later on tonight. But right now, this one, 293861.
That is such a classic design all the way around. Why don't you see the back of that watch? That's one
the
you
little
have.
Healey.
Yeah, you're going to love it.
First things first, though, we want to present our hot picks, 295808. Now, this watch, if you caught the show last night, you saw that this was one of our best sellers. And I was really excited to bring this watch out because I have actually never seen this exact variation of the 42 millimeter Michael Kors. And I absolutely fell in love with it last night on the show when I was only seeing the video shot. I hadn't even held it live in my hands yet. When we come in close on this dial, you are going to be blown away that this is only $110. And that's a price of $225 in stores for this Michael Kors. Now what you're looking at is a genuine mother of pearl dial. And what they've actually done is they've painted the mother of pearl, in a dark, almost black color. interestingly enough, when you look at mother of pearl that's been painted, it's not this top side of the mother of pearl that's the side that gets painted. They actually paint the underside of the mother of pearl, so the side that you can't see. And then this beautiful color and shade is picked up when the light penetrates through that mother of pearl and is reflected off the back painted side. So here, that beautiful black mother of pearl dial has elegantly appointed stick hour markers. And know how at the edge of every single one of your little hour markers, you've got an individual bezel set crystal. Now when you move outwards to your actual bezel, which is fixed, but has a little coin edge decoration to it, you'll see that you've got 2 rings of crystals there as well. Absolutely elegant and stunning. To me, as we saw with some of the Michael Kors timepieces last night, these are those understated, luxurious watches that don't look like the traditional Michael Kors watches. Now, when you look at the bracelet and you look at the 42mm case, you can see that Michael Kors style. They're really good at popularizing that boyfriend watch, that chunky, oversized, what looks like a men's luxury dress watch. Of course, made for our ladies' wrists. But here, when you look at that bezel and the dial, it's really, really well done. And yes, it's all blinged out with crystals, but those crystals are so well appointed, they really look like true diamonds. Here's how that 42mm will play on a 6-inch wrist like mine. Now the nice thing is you've got a lot of extra bracelet length on here, so you can have much larger wrists than my 6 inches and be able to fit into this just fine. And because Michael Kors watches are all about being oversized on the wrist, I know a lot of you ladies out there, even if you've got smaller than my 6-inch wrist, you'll be very, very comfortable. Once again, as you always get when you purchase with World of Watches, you always get 100% brand new, guaranteed authentic timepieces. Now, from time to time, we might air a store display model or a previously owned model, but Wiley and I will always tell you far in advance when those watches come down the line. So this Michael Kors watch, which is selling right now at all your favorite department stores, we've got it here for over $100 off the retail price, and yes, all you have to do to get it shipped to you for free, or with the additional $10 if you need it in time for Christmas, is put down $18.33 on any major credit card. 295-808, that's my hot pick of the night.
One of the things that I appreciate about WOW TV and World of Watches is that we have some of the best buyers in the industry. Now, the watch world is a very, very tight-knit place. And being able to get in those doors to get the best deals or to find out where the closeouts are, where the liquidations are, being able to have the relationship with the watch manufacturers that maybe if they have their 2012, 2013 models, 2014 models, we have the ability to get in there and to purchase them at a price that no one else can touch. Now, every watch that we're going to be presenting tonight, I believe, is going to be brand new. It's going to be in the box. One of your favorite boxes that you're going to want to get home is from Breitling. Breitling is just one of those companies that the moment you see the watches, you realize something special is there. Once you get through all of our packaging, you're going to find the Breitling packaging. And when you open that up and you see what's inside, it's exactly what you would want. Take a look at this. Now, mind you, there is your warranty card and all of your information on the watch. That's going to be in the box. This box is what people have aspired to have, not because of the leather box, but because of what's on the inside. And this particular version is going to be the 44mm Superocean Heritage. So I want you to see this and realize, Matt, if you're watching, a good friend of mine, he has the right shoes, everything is, he has the right shoes. He's the nicest guy in the world. And they ask in the earpiece, why is he single? Well, it could be that third eye. But I think it's going to be that he doesn't have the right watch. All right, that's a little shallow, I admit. The third eye is disturbing. It blinks differently than the other two. But I think this Breitling 44mm watch to have as a part of your collection. Now, again, this is going to have the B23 movement on the inside, which is a 25 joule automatic. Now, the watch still has 42 hours of power reserve, and it's going to have counters at the 9 o'clock and the 3 o'clock position. inspired company, this watch certainly has its ocean heritage. And with that unirotating bezel and 200 meters of water resistance, this is going to be the perfect. About that too is you're going to pay $6,200. $49.97 is what it is at midnight tonight, but right now, to get it home for the holidays, 30 watch you're going to have truly, legitimately